Hello, everybody. Welcome to Frame Trap. We're back again. Talk about some games. As always, joined by my co-host, Michael Damiani. What is up, dude?
Yo, lots of games.
Lots of games.
Too many games.
Too many
Can't
games.
even play them all right now.
And our guest, Michael Huber.
Yo.
With the Resident Evil 2 coaster in front of him.
Sending a message.
It's my favorite game of all time.
Yeah, the
I'd like
Japanese
to keep-
box art.
I like to keep it close.
Yeah,
know?
that's true. You do keep it close. It's a great game.
It's always in my heart. Time for another stream?
Yeah, you can probably do 2 a year.
Never. Hey, man. All March, baby. All
March,
Evil.
Yeah. Running back.
How you dudes doing? How you guys feeling right now? We finished Goaty stuff pretty much all last week.
Feels like a lot off the shoulders there.
Yeah, it does.
Huge weight, huge burden.
That coincided with my Dead Space review, Damiani.
Yeah, I was doing
so,
one. I was doing One Piece
I was like
too.
Forspoken.
Yeah,
Well, this is like a long stretch. We already talked about it in the last episode, but usually every other year it's been like very like low key. And thus, I'm able to like play at least a minimum like 4 or 5 GOTY games.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of feeling like some of it might have already like wasn't as going to be as heated this year for the big prize.
Yeah.
But also just an incredible stretch of RPGs coming out back to back to back. We talked about Crisis Core, we talked about Persona 3 Portable getting the first re-release in like a decade, along with P4 coming to other platforms, then Forspoken dropping, and we're going to talk about that.
In there.
And then Fire Emblem Engage. It's like
a lot.
Like so many like 40, 50 hour games. I mean, Persona's way longer than that.
Yeah.
I mean, Crisis Core ended up being like the shortest one of the bunch.
Yeah.
honestly,
Crisis
which
Core
is
is
nice. I like that.
Yeah, me too. It was nice to go through that. If you're new to Frame Trap, we talk about games here. That's the main thing here. We're getting in depth with all these games. We answer your questions, all that good stuff.
Video games.
But for the first time in a long time, we're gonna talk about some hardware, just briefly.
Okay.
What do you think, Huber? You started looking at me
are
like,
we going to talk about food? Like, are we going to talk about movies? Is Brad coming in with some like movie topic?
No,
What's going on here?
not yet. Before we get into it, of course, as always, review hardware hardware provided by PlayStation.
yes.
Let me do it both ways, just so we're 100% covered.
Yeah.
I don't want Sony suits coming after us.
No.
Review copy provided by PlayStation. Review hardware provided by PlayStation.
Yes, hold up, be like provided by PlayStation.
Yeah,
There
we
you
don't
go.
want the Sony police coming for us.
No, almost as intense as Disney.
As Disney police,
Look
yes.
out.
Dude.
But they sent me the DuelSense Edge. This is the new DuelSense controller. This is the equivalent of the Elite series that the Xbox has. I've been playing with it a little bit. I gave it to Huber. He played a little bit of it. And Damiani just felt it a little bit, just feeling it. Just quick thoughts. I am not a hardware expert. Just throwing that out there. We're software experts. We're game experts, not
I'm no
hardware
expert.
experts
No
at
expert
all.
in nothing.
In games? I'd say you're an expert in some games.
Just Resident Evil 2, maybe.
That's an expert.
Resident Evil 2.
Evil Within, probably an expert. Probably. But yeah, I just want to say the controller is very good. I think it feels very good. It's a little heavier. I'm going to hold it up for you out there. You can see it. It's a heavier controller than the normal DualSense, which is cool. I know a lot of people like that. There's just talk about some of the features also besides it being heavy. You got your analog sticks, of course, but now you can take them out. You can switch them out with different ones. It comes with this hard case right here. You can kind of see Huber can hold it up. Don't drop anything out of it. But there's different thumbsticks on it. You can switch out at your leisure, whatever you want to do. Also on the back, there is adjustments for the triggers, the R2 and L2. You can adjust the pressure. It's all
Dropped
right.
one thing.
It's all right. You can just quickly adjust it if you want. A little extra options there.
Resistance, yeah.
The most interesting thing to me, because I've never really experienced this, is the back buttons. There's back buttons on this bad boy that I put on there. You can take them off or whatever. But I've heard good things about back buttons before, and I never really dove into it. But then I booted up Elden Ring. I bound dodge to the back button. Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Dodge and sprinting especially.
Yeah, so you don't have to claw hand it.
Yeah.
You don't have to claw hand.
Exactly, essential.
It's pretty nice being able to like
Yeah.
move your camera and running easily and not having to do this action right here, which we've all done. We're all used to it, but it's just like a nice little thing.
It hurts my hand after a while.
Also super easy to set up your customization. Basically, you push, there's these little buttons down here. You push this, you could set profiles. You could set, like I set, circle to the back buttons. It's really easy. You could switch between them really fast. Also, if you have multiple profiles, you just hold down the button and it shows up your little hotkey menu. It's almost like Kingdom Hearts. Did you hold down the hotkey? You can see your spells where you just click it real quick. Good
Man,
to go.
that's so useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that freaking Switch needs. Because
I
know how
know.
many times people tell us to like switch the button profiles on games when we get angry at it. It's like it's a hassle.
Yeah. It's really fast.
They need something
It's very
like
nice.
this.
Yeah.
They need something like
It's
this.
very nice.
Yeah, back buttons are nothing new,
Right.
But I feel like this controller is just really elegant. Specifically, the back buttons and these little suckers. I mean, this is giving you 4 extra buttons in a really, really streamlined, elegant, clean way without like messing up your.
Those aren't really buttons. Like
Yeah.
you can't hotkey buttons to that as far as I'm
okay.
aware. It's just for setting your profiles.
These guys.
And I think that's used to like change analog sticks and all that stuff.
Okay, because that would be sick if you.
But
could.
you maybe can. I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but I don't think so off the top of
Yeah.
my head.
Still-
Someone can correct me.
Still, even these two back here, it's just
Yeah, the
everything.
two help a lot. 2 extra buttons.
Yeah.
Damiani, I showed this to Kristen, and she was like, Damiani needs to get one of these for 14.
Oh, the problem
Yeah.
is they don't have one thing on there
Well, what is it?
that the
Xbox One has that you
you
like?
can't move the D-pad and analog stick positions.
Oh.
So I'm a stickler about.
You like the asymmetrical
so
kind of
it's
thing?
hard. So left analog stick is used for movement, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and D-pad is for tab targeting. So when I need to move and switch targets, when you're doing it on that, like let me hold it, like I can just show you the issue. So when you're doing it like this, and I'm moving, I want to continue moving. What do I have to do? I have to I can touch these, but I can't touch the up one without losing movement.
Oh, I see.
On the 360, when I'm here, it's easier for me to do that.
That little stretch.
Yeah,
I
that
got that.
like that. Or my muscle memory is like easier to do this than to do like this.
Yeah,
I'm just so
I think
used to it.
that's fair.
But it's like very easy just to like hit like the D-pad. Like I'm moving. Oh, just do that real quick, because you don't always have to be doing
Mm-hmm.
an action. So it's really easy to like move and cycle. Where this to do that's like. And then, or you have to claw it. Yeah, that's just, that. It's a small thing, but
I mean, I think that's a totally valid concern,
and
though.
honestly, I think it's mostly for like it's a healer issue
Sure.
because when you're healing and stuff,
Healer
yeah,
mechanics.
that's the problem. Yeah.
Sick.
But overall, I think if you are a fan of the DuelSense a lot, this, I think, is the best controller you can get. The only negative I can think off the top of my head
Price.
is, well, the price. Yeah, it's expensive. It's $200.
Woo.
So I think the Xbox One's $180.
That
It's
is-
a little
They're
steeper.
both up there.
But they are enthusiast controllers, and
they
I will
are.
say that. They're for people who are big fans. It's not for everyone, but if you're into this kind of stuff, you'll probably really like it. The only thing is the battery life is still quite poor.
Oof.
Shouldn't be where it's at, or it should be better. Unfortunately, it's not, but that's the negative, I'd say, of it.
That's the thing, because we always talk about that with VR, Brad, is the price. It's like, yo, it's so expensive, but it's not. It's expensive, but it's not overpriced. Like there is a difference there. Like
Sure.
that thing it's quality. It's well made. DualSenses are already freaking like normal ones are already expensive as heck.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
$80.
Yeah. So it is extremely expensive. I probably am not going to get one because I'm just
Sure, yeah.
good with my
feel
default
like-
controls.
I think if you play like maybe like shooters or something a lot, where you want like that quick pressure on the R2 and L2,
yeah.
could be good for you. But it's just an option, I guess. I think it's cool to have the option. A lot of people like those elite Xbox controllers, so I think it's smart for Sony to do one finally,
Definitely.
officially. But those are just some quick thoughts. There's tons of reviews out there for these controllers if you want more in depth.
Yeah.
That's just some of our thoughts about it.
Sick.
All right, let's get into some video games. The good stuff, the real good stuff. We're gonna start off real good also. Huber, we've been playing this. We both beat it. That is Dead Space
Oh, okay.
remake.
This is the moment,
remake.
Huber.
What moment, Damiani? What
I
moment?
remember what I told you.
Yes.
I wanted to hear
Yeah.
your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Before I
remember.
would dive into this.
Yeah.
But also, I think the code I'm getting is for the PC version, so I'm curious which version you played, if you've heard anything about the PC version.
I heard one thing about the PC
Okay.
version being a little sketchy.
Okay, so maybe...
Just right out of the gate, I haven't followed up on that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I do not know.
Well, let's talk about this
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah.
It seems like recently, I don't know if this is a newer tradition or it's just more spotlight on it with people like Digital Foundry out there and stuff. PC ports haven't been up to snuff, I feel like, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they've been dipping again.
I remember Resident Evil Village was kind of iffy in some parts, especially, and Callisto Protocol definitely was. And it seems like this was a little too, maybe not as bad as Callisto.
The Witcher 3, even the next gen
3,
patch, the PC version needed emergency maintenance.
Me and Huber,
Yeah.
me and Huber both
Couple
played
hotfixes.
the PlayStation 5 version.
yeah.
So we didn't play PC version.
No.
Okay, so barring version differences,
Yeah.
let's hear about this. Like this remake.
Yes.
How'd it go over, Huber?
Excellent.
Okay.
Worth it, Damiani.
All right.
You will dig this because I feel like it has stuff that you love.
Knock
Okay?
them down, stomp them.
Knock them down, stomp them, dude.
The stomp is the knife.
the resource management, the upgrades. You got New Game Plus, dude. All
stuff.
those good
When he
survival
said
horror stables.
resource,
Yes.
my heart skipped for a second
Yes.
because he said and I was like, "Are you saying reset the room?"
Dude.
Okay.
Dude, Damiani, you've made me a better gamer because there was this one part.
Okay.
There's a couple difficulties. I played on hard. Brad did too. There's an impossible, which is the same as hard. You only get like one save.
And if you die, I think it erases your game.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think.
Damn.
Yeah. So played on just hard, but there was one section that was giving me trouble where I actually died like 4 times. I was like, shit. You die once, you're like, oh, okay, run it back. You die again, you're like, oh, shit. Okay. You die a 3rd time, it's just like, whoa, okay.
Reevaluation.
Yeah, reevaluation. So Damiani, dude, not quite resetting the room, but like opening the door and just like kiting one in at a time.
Yeah.
Door shut, one-on-one, dude. Piccolo style. Freaking easy to beat one-on-one. Yeah.
It's a dead zone nod.
Yeah. So I thought of you, Damiani. I was using some of your strats.
I'm glad that
Yeah.
you improved. I like. Correct me if I'm wrong. The all the more recent Resident Evils and the remakes. That's like the hardest difficulty to get the best rank. I'm forgetting because I haven't done this in like probably a year now. Like you couldn't save it all, or maybe like one save.
yeah,
It wasn't the game would
Yeah.
delete it, but like if you wanted the best ranking, you
Yeah.
had like a
I think
save
it was, you had to do
limit.
3.
The older ones, you need like 1.
Yeah, I kind of like that because it's like, how well do you really know? It's meant
Totally.
for not the starting challenge.
This is an
but,
enthusiast difficulty for sure.
pretty cool. I like stuff like that.
So, Dead Space.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So
Yes.
obviously this game's a remake. You
Yes.
are much more familiar with the original than I was. Let's talk about some of the changes. 'Cause I asked you about a lot of this stuff because
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. It had been a long
Yeah.
since I played it. What are some of like the quick things you noticed?
Quick bullet points. The quick biggest changes. Because first, before I get into those huge changes, I want to say that like this is faithful. Dead Space 1 is the first game I ever platinumed in my life. I was in college at the time. Very special, meaningful game for me. Good time in my life. Played that thing, like you with Resident Evil 4, Dami. Like all of us with Resident Evil 4. Just like 7 times in a row. Just like go, 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 go. This feels so similar to that. Like the combat, the environments. There's so many environments that are just like identical. Obviously, they look a lot better, but it's like, yep, this is the same room I was in. Some similar puzzles, but the biggest changes, the biggest additions are, first up, Isaac speaks.
Yep.
Silent protagonist in the first game, but then in Dead Space 2, then he talked and had more interactions.
Showed his face a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah, so Isaac speaks.
I will say before we get onto that, Isaac does not speak a lot. He speaks a good amount.
Yes.
He's not chatty.
No.
He only talks really when other people are talking to him or he's interacting. He's not talking when you're like walking around. He's not like
Great.
Nathan Drake.
Great.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different type of game. And
Yeah.
Isaac, Isaac's not quipping. He's
No
not doing
quips.
any of that stuff.
No.
So you
Good
that
call,
sounds
Brad.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Another huge change. In the first game, 0 gravity. You could just leap.
Okay.
Dude, you love the expanse and shit? Tell me
Yeah.
this game's fucking made for you, bro. Oh my god. Go home and play tonight.
Keep explaining.
Yeah.
The I like. Here we go. Science.
0
shit. Let's go.
gravity.
So in
dude.
the old game,
In the old game, you could just leap. You would go into 0 gravity spots.
Okay.
And you would like look to a spot and you would like
Leap to it.
leap to it. You would also have like Ratchet and Clank style gravity boots where you could just like, walk. You'd like walk up something.
all right. So you
right?
gotta aim and leap at something
Yeah.
with your momentum, or you have to have gravity boots. Okay.
Now, though, in the remake, like in the future Dead Space games, full control, dude. Floating in space. You have your thrusters, so you can like spin around, thrust forward.
Okay.
So that, first of all, is awesome because floating around in zero gravity freaking rules.
Yeah, especially because you fight some guys in zero gravity.
And it changes up combat. It changes up some puzzles. Really, really
just makes
smart.
it smoother all around. Because like dummy, you could still land and walk around too in these parts if you want to.
Yeah.
And there's a very handy if you push like R2 or L2, it like rotates the camera back.
Stabilize.
Hold R2 for orientation.
Yeah, orients the camera. Yeah, back in place.
No motion sickness here, Damiani. I think you should be
Or in the
fine.
gimbal lock.
Yeah. The gimbal lock. What is that?
You know, Apollo 13 when they're like trying to
it's
like,
been so long.
He's like, we're approaching gimbal lock. I don't know what the hell that is actually. I just remember them screaming it the whole time. But it's like 3D, like in
Dude,
space.
I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it again. Another addition is just the story is, you know,
A little more fleshed out.
95 95% the same, just expanded, you know. Just obviously Isaac talking adds a little more there. Some side quests now that flesh out the story. So like additions that just add, you know, like the Last of Us show. Additions that are adding to the universe, not necessarily taking things away or completely changing them.
Before I ask this next question real quick.
Yeah.
Gimbal lock. I think it's
lock.
when in all that your axes that you can control,
Yeah.
you're so out of control, it's impossible to recover anymore. I think gimbal lock means your
Got
device,
it.
it's no longer recoverable. You're in an unrecoverable spin.
Dude, like gravity, dude. You're like spin.
yeah, you're done.
Oh my
okay, sorry. Your question though. So like with these changes,
Yeah.
my question is about like how it feels like use your weapons in combat.
Yes.
Because I've heard so much about this game's like
Yeah.
the battles and stuff. Does it still feel as good? Is it like feel like maybe easier, or is it like feel like about the same?
It feels shockingly similar. It really does because, you know, we always joke around. You said it earlier. We always joke around about the original Resident Evil 4 meta. You know, how that game is just so damn downloaded. You know, kneecap, freaking knife, like suplex, rinse and repeat. Dead Space kind of has a similar thing where it's like plasma cutter, leg, you know, because the whole thing is about dismemberment. That's the way
how you really kill stuff.
That's how you kill these freakos, is dismembering. It does huge damage. It obviously takes away their mobility or their offense, you know, if you cut an arm off. And so you fall into the rhythm of like, you know, take them out at the knees, stomp them maybe a little bit, rinse and repeat, a lot of that. But I will say I had a lot better time with the secondary weapons this time around. I used the plasma cutter in the original Dead Space I don't even want any other gun. I'm serious. I will sell every gun, every resource, everything for just plasma cutter.
Yeah, it seemed like
All in on the plasma cutter forever. But this time I really used my tools, my weapons. They started really restricting plasma cutter ammo. They just wouldn't give me any. And there's a shop. Okay, so when you kill enemies and when you explore, you can find money and ammo and upgrade nodes. The thing where it gets really interesting, Damiani, the economy here, dude, the economy and the resource management is you can sell ammo and buy other ammo, but that's obviously going to cost you money. You know, it's not efficient. But you can also save up and just straight up buy upgrade nodes. And you take those nodes and you slot them in to your guns and your armor.
Yeah, it's like a
little
tree.
tree.
Almost. You see a tree, put points in.
You need a lot of those nodes to fully max everything out. You're not going to do it on the first run. Like, there's no chance. Like, even after New Game Plus, you should theoretically have everything maxed out, but like it still might even be close. So that's how many of these you need. And those are like 10,000 credits a pop. So you can really start like saving for those, or you can use your money for ammo or health.
Yeah.
So there's just like a lot to think about. It's never overwhelming because there's like such a specific amount of resources. You know, it's just like your guns and your ammo. There's like 6 or so guns, and then health, and that's like really it. So you don't have, and then like oxygen and stasis, because you also, that's the last gameplay thing is really, you have your stasis. You can slow enemies down,
which is super helpful.
Super helpful. You shoot a little stasis thing at them. You can use it for puzzles, slow something down.
Oh, okay, sick. Yeah.
And you can also use that stuff costs stasis energy though. That can refill at kiosk things or an item, and then you can also use kinetic grabs
to pull.
So you can pull an explosive barrel, shoot it back at them,
which doesn't cost any stasis to use.
Nothing.
Pro tip,
free of
Damiani,
charge. Cut a limb off.
Shoot a limb, cut the limb off. You take it from them a lot like a sharp limb. You can throw it at guys and like one shot them.
Sick. It's
super good. Yeah.
Get over here.
So that was all the gameplay shit.
Yeah, let's
really.
talk about the weapon upgrades really quick. So they have like special upgrades. There's like 3 per weapon.
Yeah.
Like every schematic.
Small edition as well.
Yes.
Now it's easier to try those weapons. Originally you needed a blueprint and all this. Now you just find the weapon in the game and you pick it up and you have it.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Are those new for the plasma cutter, the upgrade where you can like shoot them and it does a little dot damage?
I feel
those
like
new?
No.
Okay.
The special upgrades were there. Yeah. Secondary fire. The guns have secondary fire.
There you go.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
So, and like the schematics, like finding different schematics throughout the world, was that in the original too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Upgrade. You'd find like an upgrade thing.
Yeah.
You'd bring it back to the workbench, and then
unlock new section.
unlocks a new tier to upgrade. So there's just like a lot of that upgrade stuff.
That Resident Evil
Damiani.
4 thing you'll like.
I know you love
definitely.
that. And then, and the combat's cool. The environment, dude, you're just on you're on this freaking spaceship, dude. The USG Ishimura. And, there's just really good lore there. The game is a good length.
One thing too, Damiani, now with the remake is there's no loading times anymore.
Yes.
The ship is all seamless.
That was the last.
Oh,
That was the last
nice.
thing I wanted to say. Is
Yeah.
the tram? I knew I was forgetting something.
Yeah, you ride the tram. There's a tram you can ride to. There's no loading screen. You're just
loads.
on it.
That's
It
good.
feels like some areas maybe connect a little more seamless too, maybe because it doesn't have to load anymore. You just go through it. So it's very nice. It keeps you immersed in the game.
And they've tweaked some areas obviously because it's a brand new game.
Yeah.
It's a remake, but like there are still so many areas where it's like this is identical. This is identical.
Yeah, you told me it's kind of like Resident Evil 1 remake
It really
and how they approached it.
That is what I thought of. That is what I thought of. I thought of when I was playing this. I thought of Resident Evil 1 remake. This is like that perfect freaking sweet spot of adding, refining, and honoring all at once. It feels the same, but it's also how you would want it to be over a decade later, with modern sensibilities. Just a really nice sweet spot all around.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else.
They've added some, just a little, not even puzzles. They've added just more interactivity. So there's these power doors now where you can
right. Right.
There'll be a power thing and it'll go to a bunch of doors maybe or electronics and they're put this power here. Okay, now this door is unlocked. Let me go over there. Just a little more ways to be interacting with the environment instead of just marching through corridors. They really try to put those in there in between the story beats and the bigger puzzle beats to try to get that pace, ironed out.
Is it pretty linear progression in this game?
It is, but the side quests, which are new, offer a really nice way to explore. There was a point where I felt like maybe I kind of missed a step on one, so I really had to backtrack quite a bit. It was risky because when you backtrack, things are going to pop out.
Yeah, let's talk about that meter you told me about in the background.
There's this thing behind the scenes they told me about when I got to do a preview for Dead Space a couple months ago. They were I forget the name of it. It was the intensity meter.
Yeah,
there was
just something running in the background.
Yeah, where it's yo, it's been a while since there's been a creature. You have a lot of ammo. Let's scare you. Let's pop something out.
Sounds like adaptive difficulty.
Like Resident Evil 4, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's working in the background. So I felt like when I would backtrack sometimes.
Yeah, guys would come out for sure.
Come out and be like, shh.
It's because I was asking you about backtracking.
Yeah.
Do harder enemies ever show up? Because RE4 also does that. When you go back to an older zone, it's
not
they throw
that
in.
specific,
Okay, I didn't know if they
no.
evolve the enemies.
on side
There's
to keep you on your
different versions
toes.
kind of the same enemies. There's red-eyed ones almost. But there's not like new enemy types that I'm aware of, right? Like brand new enemies.
Or just older enemies that have more powers.
Yeah,
or something.
it's stuff like that.
Stuff like that.
It's stuff like that.
That's what I
Noticed.
meant.
Now, I think that also carries over to New Game Plus, too, because I've been messing around with it a little bit. It seems like some of the harder versions of them are wandering around in earlier parts of the game.
As they should be.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, it's New Game Plus.
And then the key cards as well.
That's new?
That the side quest for like some special.
Oh, right, yeah. The
special-
access key, the
Yeah.
special one.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
But are those like ranked doors? So, Damiani, throughout the map, there's doors that you don't have access to. You need to be like rank 1 access to this shit.
Okay.
And there's like rank 2, rank 3. And you don't have those right away.
Yeah.
You get them throughout the game. So you can go back to areas,
Yeah.
get some
Alright.
extra stuff, and they're usually worth going for.
I feel like that stuff was more linear in the original, but it's been a while
It's been
since
a
I
while,
played
yeah.
it, so I do forget that little
Yeah,
detail.
yeah, for sure.
But just this being no loads made those keys feel more impactful because you would check your map and it would be like, oh, there's a level 1 door in this area way the hell on the other side of the ship. I'm just going to go unlock it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that stuff's cool.
Get on the tram, just
Yeah,
ride it.
go on the train, take a huge detour just for like one door. You're like, dude, what's behind that
But
door?
that's
though?
cool because you want
Yeah,
that feeling. Like,
exactly.
I had the same feeling too. I'm like, I want what's behind that door because maybe
Yeah.
there's a new schematic or something back there.
Yeah.
Or like, I want some more ammo or something.
Yeah.
It's worth it for sure. Swiggity, swoogity, swooty, swiggity, swooty. Weird name. Wrote in and said, hey, allies, just wrapped up Dead Space and am amazed at how much better it is than the original thanks to smart, subtle changes. What would be the best way to move the series forward from here, and what other dormant series could use a remake like this? So there's a secret ending also in this game.
Which
But
we're not going to talk about.
We're not yet,
Yeah.
but that's new.
Yep.
But hopefully,
They like with yeah, I'm afraid to say too much.
yeah, that's fine.
I'm afraid just know that I really, really, really love Dead Space 2 and I really, really, really despise Dead Space 3.
Yeah, I think most people do.
So moving forward, let's just cut that one out. Let's just retcon that
Or
whole
yeah,
game.
just do something new.
Yeah, let's just completely retcon 3. Just nuke it from orbit, I say.
Yes.
No
So do
reason.
I.
Yeah, there's no reason for that game to.
You don't need co-op. It's fine.
No, we don't want it. We don't want it. We don't need it.
Yeah, it's fine. You don't really
So.
need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of much else to say about Dead Space off the top of my head without going to spoilers, which we
Yeah, in
want
terms
to.
of, story stuff, because there's some good story stuff. I
there's
don't want to
story
bring any
Yeah,
of
we
that
don't need
up
to talk
too
about any of
soon.
that.
Too soon.
But
Hell of an atmosphere. I mean,
Yeah.
that was the selling point back in the day when this game originally came out. Was survival horror in space. It space isn't like some unheard of location in a video game, but the way Dead Space utilized that setting by being this just engineer, Isaac is an engineer. He's not a soldier. He's an engineer. So it's like you're just this engineer on this spaceship that's broken down and you're trying to fix it and floating through zero gravity parts. It was just so unique in that setting and
Yes.
the atmosphere is top notch.
it absolutely is. Great game. If you like survival horror games, I think you'll definitely enjoy this.
If you like survival horror, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
This is a must-play game if you like survival horror
Yeah.
at all.
Maybe if you played the first one pretty recently, you can cool off for a minute.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it's the definitive version of this game that I
I'd
can
say
think
so,
of.
yeah.
It's definitely worth playing. It's a lot of fun.
I haven't played the original in many, many years.
Yeah. Alrighty. Damiani, you like Fire Emblem. You're kind of a fan. I know. I've heard you talk about it every now and then.
Kind of.
Fire Emblem Engage came out kind of out of nowhere for me. I know they talked about this a little bit before, but sooner than I expected. Let's talk about it, because when I think of Fire Emblem, recent Fire Emblem games, Damiani, 2 versions, or you pick an allegiance kind of thing in these games. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you did that a lot in the last ones. That wasn't like a big selling point of it, it seemed like to me. This one seems more, from an outsider looking in, it's like Fire Emblem All-Stars almost, in the sense of you got all these past heroes.
So-
but I'm sure there's more to that, so why don't you tell me about this game?
Yeah, they're not. So for where I'm at, it's not in. They're a part of the story, but like they're not in. Like they're
Integral?
not the story. It's not
Okay.
like. They're more like supplements than the core of this game. This game is a throwback to if you started with 3 houses, then this must be a really big of shock of a type of game to you, because this is more in line with how Fire Emblem has historically been,
Right, 'cause
structurally.
Three Houses, from what I understand, is much more Persona-esque and...
Three Houses is
you're in a space, you're building bonds with people,
Exactly.
you're like walking around.
The setting, Garrick Mach in Three Houses is like the primary setting. You spend a lot of time
Yes,
there.
you do.
In the game, it's equal amounts, the battles and the SRPG part of it, and then like the social part of it, the social sim part of it was like probably at least half the game. And you were just like, it was a mix of both. While there is like areas you can walk around this game, it's not the same thing.
Right.
And that was really the first Fire Emblem, Three Houses, to really do that kind of style that went so heavily on developing character relationships is like one of the biggest focuses of the game. It's not like an added benefit. Like, it does add, it's been there for the longest time, but they didn't lean so heavily into it. That was more going into like Persona territory, where you had to like manage schedule. Like, it's like, I feel like I'm doing a schedule manager here.
Yeah, when Three Houses came out, I mean, everything I saw people talking about that game was that aspect of the game. Not so much the gameplay, or of like, the battles, I mean, but it was like more about like the management and stuff.
And it's like designed for multiple playthroughs from the very get-go, because, I mean, you had to pick one of the three houses.
Yep.
And so while you could eventually recruit most of everyone into your side, you just got different perspectives. Obviously, there were similar beats, but at different parts, it would diverge, especially like the post time skip. But this one is more traditional. Like, it has a very fixed story. It's like linear progression. It has like a world map again, where you move your character along to different destinations that unlock as you progress.
Is this like a Super Mario World map or something like that?
It feels sort of like, it feels like a JRPG overworld map, but like, you can't freely walk across it.
Okay.
But like, in terms of like the paths, it's more like Mario. But it's like,
here's a spot right here. Your character goes there no matter what.
Your character will walk along like one of the.
It's like a Mario Party map.
Yeah, like one of the early ones. There's like an island for like a side mission. They're called paralogs. They've been in Fire Emblem forever. You have to go cross a little like bit of water. Your character turns into a ship. Like, so they kind of keep
that's fine.
A little bit of the RP there. But basically, you might get like a branch here or there that goes to like a side mission, which could present you with like extra story and or the possibility to recruit new characters to your side. And then you can revisit past locations to do things called skirmishes, which are just like, they're designed basically to if you have newer characters who need to level up, you could spend some time there, or if you really just want to like grind a bit, it's just one of the ways they could do it. But yeah, you start with like a main character. You could pick, like a guy or girl, and then you go from there. Very straightforward story. In fact, maybe a little bit too simplistic.
Okay.
And it's not just because it's the older style. I can see some people saying like, well, that's what you get when you don't do like a Persona style game. You can't have that, like, you don't have the level of depth. Like, I replayed the beginning of Three Houses just for comparison, and like the slower burn of like getting to know individual characters. It was about like, very slice of life. It wasn't like the overarching world problem wasn't really thrown in your face right away. So it was like about bonds and like meeting characters. That's still lightly present here, but it's like, oh, you're this like 1,000-year-old like sleeping dragon who was like awoken. You don't know why you fell asleep 1,000 years ago. Tell me if you heard this one before. It's like amnesia, woke up, like forgot their past and stuff. It's like, I was like, when has Nintendo recently done this as well? Like, it was like, Breath of the Wild, like 100 years, except like, You come into the modern world and like you meet like your initial cast of characters, and they're like, oh yeah, like welcome back. You get acclimated, but then like all of a sudden this like evil villain who you supposedly thought 1,000 years ago is apparently back, and his minions are out like running amok, causing trouble. And you got to get these hero rings. There are 12 of them. That's the Fire Emblem. Emblem rings. This is like every game. The Fire Emblem is different. And each of those rings houses a spirit of a past champion.
Okay.
So your first one is Marth.
Yes, everyone knows Marth.
Yeah, you get Marth. The second one you have is like Sigurd, who's from Genealogy of the Holy War, which is the rumored next remake game.
Oh.
So maybe that's why they're in there. You get Celica from the most recent Echoes remake. And then you get like Micaiah from Radiant Dawn, the Wii Fire Emblem. So it's like your first one. We'll go beyond that.
So they're all in the same timeline, Damiani?
Huh?
All the Fire Emblems?
I don't think it's that. I think they're being summoned. As far as I understand, they're just being like summoned
like
from like
multiverse type
maybe
thing?
something like
Okay,
that.
cool.
And like I obviously haven't played far enough to see if that like gets into any of that. But what they are, they basically just grant you extra abilities.
So they don't fight on the field with you. Really?
They're like floating next to you.
Okay.
And like they
They're like a
mimic your
persona behind
actions,
you.
but you're the one doing the attack usually. Sometimes they but then like you could do like a persona fusion thing with them, which is the engage mechanic.
Okay.
When you act in, any character can equip one of these rings. And then each ring, I think, has 10 levels of like your bond level with them, goes up to level 10, and you get special attributes and abilities as you level those up.
So, will you want to level all these up on one character?
So you can see what their benefits are. So, for example, Sigurd is very good when paired with a mounted rider, because it gives you extra benefits. So I accidentally gave it to a mage at first, and I was like, "Oh wait, this is not. I don't think there's this really simple like you know." But obviously, there are gonna be class promotions. Like when you hit rank 10, level 10, you can use like a master seal. You can, like they have the promotion system. So you might like change your job. So maybe a different ring will.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So like that's the flexibility there. So I think. At the start, each ring kind of like speaks to a certain type of job class, and you should probably be sticking with them. But as you advance through the ranks, you might want to mix and match a little bit. And you can inherit, I believe, up to 2 skills. There's inheritable skills from each emblem ring, and you can pick, I think, up to 2 that you can bring along with you. But they also have like an ultimate attack. So like Marf's is this like flurry of attacks, like seven strikes that do 30% of your max damage. But I mean that's like 210% of your damage. So you want to use it, and it's like a nice presented like in a cutscene. Cool. It's all flashy looking, and they each have their unique special powers. But they're like you only use it once when you use it, and then you got to recharge. You see like a ring around them with it's like 5 bars you got to recharge up.
Okay.
And that's like the basic new mechanic. The same kind of like tenets are there. Same like weapon triangles there. There's I think this is new to this game.
The RPS system.
If someone uses has the advantage against you in attacks, they can break you, which means disarm you. Which means you can't counter, and if anyone else attacks you during that turn, you don't have the ability to counter them either.
Wow.
So like you'll see your opponent or yourself drop their weapon. It'll go flying out and say break. And I'm like, oh, so like I've obviously put certain jobs in a disadvantage, at a disadvantage just because like it's fine, they'll be okay. But then when they can't even counter, it's like, oh shit, I didn't even get that counter damage. So it adds a nice layer, and that's like the biggest thing I'm seeing from this game. While it has like kind of like reeled in the social aspect to more in line with like the games previous to Three Houses, it's definitely ramping up the strategy element of it.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So this break mechanic, first of all, do you enjoy this break mechanic? Do you think this is a good addition?
Yeah, because it keeps you on your toes. You have to be a little bit more aware of where you're placing enemies your
it's just
units.
an extra like layer, I guess, to what's going on.
Because usually I'd be like, oh, that enemy can't even kill me, but like I want them to like attack them. It's like because I just want to get a counter hit on them. But like when you can't even rely on that, it kind of changes things up a little bit.
Okay, so we've talked about this, you and me, with Three Houses. Like, we wish there was more to the combat, I guess, in terms of... It was very simple, which is fine, but I kind of want a little more. Is there more strategy this time around besides the break mechanic?
So the maps, I'll be honest, I haven't gone far enough yet to see if they have like all the old school shit. And I'm talking about like Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn era, where they have with like trebuchets and like traps in the ground. Like there was like a mission where you have to cross a bridge in one of them, and they're pitfalls that will like encumber your unit for like 2 turns or a turn where they can't even move out of it.
Sure.
Like shit like that.
Yeah.
But they do have like some of the like tenants are still there, like ramparts are back.
Okay.
And any square you could see the attributes of that square. If they have like avoidance, like you can dodge this. This one will give you heals if you stay on it for a turn. This one will help like defense. And there are a few of those still there.
Is there still like the bushes or whatever?
Yeah, bushes are still there. They have like the fog of war. One of the levels is like you're trying to sneak through in the dark, and there's torches you got to light. Cool. Otherwise, you could like stumble to enemy. But like those have been like there.
Does high ground matter?
There has not. So even on the rampart when you're above, I have not seen an instance of like being above having like some kind of like benefit.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I think maybe either Awakening or the one right before it was the last one that
had something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
but like definitely, yeah, I have not encountered that. But like it's still kind of like early.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm not-
Damiani, excuse my ignorance here. This entire time with this game, this is 100% on me. This entire time, Fire Emblem Engage has come off like as a spin-off game.
Oh,
Do you get? Is this?
I think it's just because of
this a
the
full-on-
characters coming back.
Yeah, because like
it's-
Three Houses feels like this felt like this big, like big Fire Emblem in here. This almost feels like. Like budget wise and just on the outside looking in and just like looking at the game, it feels like a step down from that. And I usually just equate that vibe of like, okay, it's like a spin-off or like a secondary game. Am I fully wrong in that?
So there's two parts of your question.
Yeah.
It'll help. First of all, it's not a spin-off in the regard you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Like this is a unique world. You see a giant world map with multiple countries.
It's like
it has a
full-on.
unique story. Like basically, yeah, you are like the divine dragon. You're charged with protecting the world.
Yeah.
Each of these, like I think there are 5 kingdoms, have like uneasy alliances with each other. But like this fell dragon has returned and wants to cause chaos, and now like alliances are breaking. And you hid these rings across the world to keep them all, because to get all 12 of them together is bad news.
you were saying.
So that's what you're doing. You're going on like a journey, and like the story kind of dictates. Like first, your home's invaded. Like you're on like a sky island thing. No one's supposed to be able to get there. Apparently, enemies show up.
Of course.
Then you go to like the first kingdom below, and like there's trouble going on there. You help them out, and then you're going to like seek aid from the next kingdom. And so it is, it's fully like fleshed out in that. In terms of the story, I think the story is very bare bones right now. It's not winning me over. It's a little too simple.
How far are you in the game right now? Do you know?
I'm in like I'm only in the second content. Brodia is the name of it, I think. So it's not that far.
Yeah.
But I can say this. It's very like it's more like anime style like story and character designs, whereas like it's always been a thing, but going back to like Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn, it was more like political intrigue, Game of Thrones. It was like Final Fantasy Tactics.
I like that OG
it was
vibe. Yeah,
very
Tactics
like
over
deep
stuff,
political story stuff, and it got very intricate. This is not that. This is more surface level, very simple to understand.
Got it.
So that on that regard, I'm not feeling satisfied. But in terms of it, it like looks like it's a giant, like fully fleshed game. It's not like some weird spin-off.
Got it.
Now you said something about like budget.
Yeah.
I want to address that real quick.
Because Three
Brad.
Houses is like
This
that thing was high budget.
This game
Kind of.
This game is.
I mean, I think Three Houses was just kind of ugly in some regards on the field.
Okay.
For sure.
This is more
But
colorful.
It still felt really high
This is
budget.
more colorful, and I'll give them that. There's more color to this game, but this is not a Switch problem.
Yeah.
This series has just never really pushed in terms of visuals.
Right.
This game isn't like, I feel like I'm staring at like the Wii version of this game in battles, like battle maps. Obviously, great design and great gameplay doesn't require good high fidelity graphics.
Right, of course.
But when it's the top-down view and it looks like very, very like low tech, and then afterwards when you finish a battle, you can walk around the battle map freely and talk with people. It changes to a different graphic style. It's like better looking, and I'm like, why can't it look this good in battle? Like you're literally the same map, and then you got the cutscene quality, which is like higher res models in game. And it's like, I wish it looked like that. Like it is a very dated look. It looks very like older gen looking, even by its own standards. And that's kind of been the thing with Fire Emblem for the longest time. It's I don't know. It's been a thing that's like kind of been irksome to me for a long
Sure,
time.
because it could be better.
On handheld, it's like a different story.
Yes,
like
of course.
it flies better.
Yeah,
but
Awakening, I think,
now,
was high budget.
like
When you're
now
playing
after
on
three
your
houses,
TV or monitor.
and this, I'm like, man, like I really wish they would just spend a little bit more time, at least from a technical level.
Sure.
It just doesn't.
Especially
wow
when
me.
you played, Xenoblade 3. Like, it's a much more technically impressive game, probably. I know they're very different games, but you're just kind of like... It feels like it's pushing the hardware.
Just so late in the life cycle, and like it being a second Fire like mainline Fire Emblem on Switch, and just not really improving the visuals that much, in my opinion. There is like a base of operations place, the like your Dragon Island, but it's not nearly like Garrick Mach. It like has a few shops. It has like a few like points of interest. Like there's like a training mini game where you can do like push-ups or sit-ups, but it's like it's only like a temporary boost to like strength or defense for the next battle. It's not even permanent, so I kind of stopped doing it. I was like, that's cool.
What's the gym in 7?
Oh, in Wall Market?
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called, but yeah.
Okay.
They still have like the conversations. Like you could do all like the support conversations. You can do bond conversations with the Emblem Ring characters. They're very simple and they're very short. I'll give them that. 3 houses can get pretty elaborate and lengthy. But I think some of those were, but some of them were actually very worthwhile. I think some of them were really good, but they would sometimes overstay their welcome. This is like the polar opposite. Like you maybe get a few sentences and then it's like, that's it. I'm like, wait, there's only gonna be 3 more of these? And like some of their storylines are like, this doesn't seem like it's gonna be that significant. It adds like a little bit of flavor to each character, but it's not doing that deep dive. So it's definitely a different tone. And they've definitely streamlined a lot of stuff here.
Yeah.
Like they make it easy to fast travel around your like base operations. Cool. Like the menus, like there's like all sorts of like auto optimized, auto sorts. There's no more for most of your core weapons. There's no more durability. It's gone.
Right. Okay.
Like all like your basic weapons have infinite uses. Certain things, like healing items still have uses. Healing staffs and like magic staffs. Some of them like your like your healers only have so many charges, but like the shop will sell those back. And so far, I'm not really sweating the economy right now. I feel like I'm good.
You're still pretty early for now.
That could quickly change, but I don't like feel a need to upgrade anything.
Okay. Yeah. And you are a veteran of the series, so it might be a little easier for you.
For the combat, like the strategy level, like I really do like it. I like how when you're next to someone, they could do like you could do chain attacks where they will attack with you. Some people have like abilities to like there's chain defense now, like these monk characters at their cardinal positions. If you have characters about them, you could like do chain defense. So if they get attacked, you'll take the hit, but like at like a huge like absorption. Like you only take 30% of the damage for them, which is like really really nice to have. And it like just like the amount of options to like make things visible, like seeing enemy movement, all that, like you could toggle all that to your heart's desire. You can like literally make it a grid again. It's like there's no grid at the start. It just show like you'll move in you move in 8 directions. You can go cardinal or intercardinal movement. It's not like free roaming across each of the squares, but like you really need those square grids to help you understand. You can crank it all the way up and have the full grids again and like see it look like that. They got like houses you could visit again where, villagers could give you like a nice item.
Cool.
And like thieves are roaming about that want to like pillage it, and chests as well. They got like doors you got to break down, find key, like all those things are there.
Yeah, that's
it's
fun.
just not, hasn't reached the highs of, what I perceive to be like the best, like, the best of those. Yeah.
Let's say like someone like me who only really played 3 houses. It sounds like I'll enjoy this from what you've been telling about with the battles and stuff like that. Maybe streamlining a little bit. I'm totally cool with that. Do you think someone who's maybe really into the management aspects of 3 houses will feel this game's lacking?
They're definitely going to feel it's lacking if that's what they're looking for.
Looking for those bond relationship kind of things, maybe more.
Yeah, you don't do like outside of combat. It's just like you can walk up to someone to start a support conversation if it's active, or you can do it through a menu.
Okay.
But like you can give gifts. There is the gift option there. But beyond that, there's like so far there's like no activities you do with other players. Like you don't go to tea time.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't like have the cooking thing. None of that seems to be present just yet.
Sure.
It may unlock down the line, but from what I heard, it's not going for that.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine. I was just curious what people
and also think. Like again, the story parts do drag a little bit. There's a lot of like cutscenes and dialogue in here, so just settle in. I mean, the pace has improved where I'm at now, but the very beginning is very story heavy.
Chris Park wrote in, said, "Hey allies, while games like Hi-Fi Rush prove that shadow drops can work well, did it help or hurt the messaging on Fire Emblem Engage? I noticed that up until the release of the game, people were still confused of the purpose of the emblem ring mechanic, the main gimmick of the game. Is having no direct outside of the first trailer and or extremely short release period of 4 months helping or hurting certain types of games? Tokyo Mirage Sessions got more direct spots than Engage before release.
It hurt my perception. I thought this whole time this thing's a spin-off, dude. I had no idea. There was no hype. Like, it's a new Fire Emblem game on Switch, one of the marquee things. I expected a big, all right, Fire Emblem is back, in 6 months, and all the build-up and the hype, and this thing kind of just came out, and it has those old characters, so that's why
I guess from
the
like
vibe
you
of
and me, Huber, who don't...
Yeah.
We are very passive on this series and seeing it. We didn't like invest anything like that, just what I've seen. That's kind of the vibe I could have got too. I wouldn't have known that unless I talked to Damiani about it.
Yeah.
But Damiani, someone who pays attention to Fire Emblem, do you think they were clear enough or gave this game enough spotlight before it came out?
I mean, I wasn't even paying attention to all of it, and I the messaging did at least clarify that, like, you don't actually play as these old characters. They're just kind of like joining along. Because I thought it was going to be like, assemble an all-star team, and they're going to be fighting for you, and it's like going to be like a Smash Brothers thing or some weird, multiverse where, like, oh, they just all got sucked into the same, like a Dissidia. Like, I thought it was going to be like Dissidia setup. Like, oh, this is just going to be like weird. It is like a weird spin-off, but... And they made it clear as like it is a normal Fire Emblem, but like they were leaning. I think they saw the success of Fire Emblem Heroes, the mobile game, and saw that people liked having these character designs from all different games mixed together. But they don't want to do a gotcha game on Switch. That would never go over. Hopefully, and this is like I think what they found. I think it was a disservice not having like a dedicated like direct. They did have dedicated video presentations, so like video trailers they'd put out. But I think it would have helped maybe having a direct to clarify for just like the outliers who were interested but like still didn't fully understand. I think the other thing that's a little strange is, I mean, it may still be coming at some point, but not doing like a direct follow-up to Fire Emblem Three Houses. But given how successful that game was and its popularity, I thought they would have jumped, the intelligence system would have jumped immediately on making a follow-up to it, whether it's a direct sequel or just another game that's exactly like Three Houses. Maybe just like, different setting. And so I'm quite shocked they did that. I think that might be some of the whiplash people are experiencing. It's like, ooh, this is so... Imagine if they did Breath of the Wild and the next Zelda was literally like a more traditional Zelda game. And that was and that's what they've been working on for like 3-4 years. And it's like, wait, where's Breath of the Wild? Why can't I just go anywhere? Like, it would be whiplash. So I think that's kind of working against it there a little bit as well.
Cool. All right. Sounds cool, though. I would like to play it sometime. I don't know when I'll get to it, but I like strategy games. And I like Three Houses. I thought it was fun, but what you're saying about this just kind of more streamlined sounds appealing to me. A little more depth to the battles, maybe. Yeah,
I personally would like both, the best of both combined.
Yeah, sure. I think that's fine.
I love Three Houses. I love the social aspect of Persona. I haven't just we talked about Persona 3. It's like, I love that shit. I love like
maybe just dial it back a little bit. Some of the management, I guess.
Maybe I went a little overboard, even compared to like Persona 3. It was probably like a little overboard. But like I love having like you got like choices. You can't do everything on your first playthrough.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
You might miss like developing some. I didn't recruit everyone onto my side, and I made that like second playthrough of Three Houses. Like, all right, I want everyone. There's a way to do it. I want to find out how to get everyone on my side.
I mean, that's a very appealing thing to a lot of people. To me, it's like a lot of reason why like Persona games took off over normal Shin Megami Tensei more. It's stuff like that.
I mean, also some people think like high school settings just are super popular.
Yeah,
obviously it worked for Three Houses. Doesn't always work out. Like Valkyria Chronicles 2 had a high school setting, but that's a super heavy World War II themed game that a different take on World War II. And like I think that might have like completely missed the mark.
Sure.
But like in general, high
also
school
on
setting,
PSP, so probably didn't know.
And that also probably hurt it. But like in general, high school settings seem to be super popular.
Yeah, definitely are.
With a broader audience.
Sentinels?
13 Sentinels, yeah. I hope Persona 6 is college. Something higher up.
Something higher up would be nice.
Or like maybe not even school, something a little different.
An American high school.
That would be weird. That would be weird.
No, it's you're like a transfer student. You're coming over here.
That would be weird.
Or the other way around? No, that'd be even more weird.
Wasn't that what that was what On was, or Anne, right?
She was like, she was foreigner,
yeah.
Next game. Dude, this game came out of nowhere, honestly, for us. Super great. Came from Tango Gameworks, who me and Huber are big fans of. We love that. Dominic, you've played The Evil Within, right? The first one?
Yeah.
But that's the only one. Yeah, you played with Huber?
Huber was right alongside me for that
But you haven't played any of the other games,
I haven't played 2. Nope. I know Huber's just like...
We like 2 a lot.
He's like, dude.
I like 2 a lot. Huber loves 2. And me and Huber really like Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yes.
But
which came out earlier this year.
Yeah.
Really GhostWire?
I haven't
No.
played it.
First person for sure.
It's different.
First person.
But
Does every first person make you sick?
he liked
Hi-
Titanfall too.
yeah.
Nice. Okay. Sorry.
But out of nowhere, Tango Gameworks shows up to the Microsoft or Xbox Developer Showcase, whatever they called it,
Yes.
Developer Direct.
Yes.
They just dropped this new game, Hi-Fi Rush, out of nowhere. Very
Mostly
different.
out of nowhere.
Mostly out of nowhere.
Dropping it out of nowhere for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we knew they were working on a game,
We
obviously.
knew John Johannes was working on something that was
Yes.
completely different than horror and Evil Within. So
Yes.
we knew he was working on something probably jolly. That's
Something
all I
jolly,
knew.
yeah.
That's it. He's
When
working on something
most
jolly.
people say stuff like that, I
Yeah.
believe them, except if they're from software, who have said they said in the past, like, doing something maybe a little different, and it turned out to be Bloodborne. But yeah, this game, super colorful, super playful, really jolly, a rhythm action game. You know, we're used to survival horror or like, shooting shit, like orbs.
Yeah.
Really different.
Wow.
A $30 game also.
Game Pass.
I mean, it's
as
on
well.
Game Pass. Of
Yep.
course, it's first party. It's going to be on Game Pass, but on PC, it's $30.
Yeah.
Really cool move. It seemed to have caught a lot of people's attention now, which is
A
great.
lot of people.
Which is great. We're hoping they dive back on the catalog now.
Yeah. It's all right there.
It's all right there. So
Game Pass.
I've played the first two levels, and I think you've also played the first two levels.
Yeah, I'm right there. Yeah.
So let's tell me about this game a little bit.
Hi-Fi Rush, Saturday morning cartoon vibes, Ratchet and Clank vibes,
Yeah.
Devil May Cry vibes, just like combining those elements flawlessly. We sit here and we talk all the time about how we're so tired of quips. We're so tired of this forced comedy
Yes.
in so many games, in so many movies. Like, it's just everywhere. It's so prolific. And this game's comedy hits. It works. And I think a lot of that, actually, I was thinking about it, physical comedy. That's not something you always see in video games. And the physical comedy in Hi-Fi Rush is awesome. Him just like,
Yeah.
getting flung out of things, like tumbling
Yeah.
down, just like all.
So-
Yeah, you just really feel
It's been
that.
an interesting time coming off. Forspoken came out recently, which has got a lot of criticism for its writing and its comedy.
Yeah.
Now, that's a good theory. I think that's a really great one I didn't even think about. I also think about why it works more in this game is it's not a serious game. The tone,
Yeah,
you know? I played Forspoken some. It's a serious game at some spots.
Yeah.
What's going on, Hi-Fi Rush is very goofy the entire way through.
So those quips should be there almost. They're
Almost.
allowed to be there.
It makes
like-
it seem just normal.
Yeah.
And honestly, probably the visual aspects of it help a lot too.
Totally. Cell shaded.
And, like, not only is the story playful, like visually it's very playful, and it's like the tone is set immediately, and it's been consistent the whole way through.
combat,
Yeah,
Brad.
yeah. Let's talk about combat.
So smart and smooth, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Rhythm games might be challenging for people. Like it's a lot,
Yeah.
dude. Like my timing not great, but this game makes it so clear how to play. Like the whole first level is a big tutorial basically. Teaches you how to play. There's so many accessibility options for this, like Damiani. So your attacks, if you attack, you have a light and a heavy attack primarily, and that is you got to attack to the rhythm, and you'll do more damage that way.
Yeah.
Attack to the beat. So a light attack is like pop, pop, pop. Heavy attack is like pop, pop, pop. To make it easier to go along with that, every time you hit someone, I don't even know how they do it, dude. This game's like it's so complicated but so simple. When you hit someone, that'll be the when it hits them, that'll be the rhythm. It'll be on beat.
Yeah,
So
no matter
even if
what.
you're no matter what. So if you're off rhythm, when you hit someone, you're back on, and you can go that way. Also, the environment will do things
The world, yeah.
to the world will do things to the rhythm. So like steam coming out to the beat, or like some
Yeah.
faucet or whatever.
Yeah, even the character Chai, he'll be sitting there like snapping on beat. So you can see him
Snapping
there, and you have
on
like a little
beat.
robot cat
Yeah.
with you, Damiani, and it's lighting up on the beat also.
You have this sick dash where you can dash twice, but if you dash on rhythm, you can do it 3 times. It is my favorite thing to do of 2023 so far.
The dash is nice.
That is the thing to top. It is the McCurry counter of the year so far. The most fun thing that is Spider-Man zipping. Dashing in this game for me right now is the number one thing. Just like dash, dash, dash. Just on rhythm. It's so freaking fun, Damiani.
Damiani, also, if you do it, great. If you're like perfectly on beat, there's a little visual and audio cue to letting you know. You'll hear like there'll be a flash next to you, and you'll hear like yeah. So knowing that you get it also. Yeah. Kind of like Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah.
Did you bring it up? So if you push like select or whatever, there'll be a visual.
Yes.
At the bottom.
So yeah, I heard there's an option to like for if you do like everything in the world is just not doing it for you, you could just force something on screen. That
click of a button, seamlessly. Click of a button.
No penalty as far as I'm aware.
Goes away. Thumbs up, goes away. That is so seamless, right there.
Yeah,
right there. Numerous difficulties.
Yeah. Also, scoring system like Devil May Cry.
Yes.
So you want to get that up.
Yeah.
Get those S's or whatever.
Economy, dude. The environments are good.
They look very nice.
They look very nice. Like this is a world you just want to explore. When is the Netflix anime? When is the visual? Like, give me all the spin-offs. I want more of this world.
It's like been a lot of like factory kind of stuff right now because like you're like going through a factory stuff like that.
But there's places to explore.
Yeah, there's a lot of platforming actually in this game. You know, you're like jumping on stuff, and like some of the stuff you're jumping on is moving to the beat of the level too. So you're like timing it with that. You're looking at your character.
Things are coming out.
Yeah, at different things like that.
When you run to the beat.
Yeah.
So just get the feeling, Damiani. Like this is a game you just need to feel. You need to feel the rhythm, feel the beat. It is like there's a reason everyone's talking about it, and it's because it is this just magical lightning in a bottle moment. It almost feels like where every single element of this game is coming together masterfully. Like everything. There's no wasted anything. It's awesome. Yeah, so when you explore off the beaten path, you'll find little like bolts, and you can upgrade stuff.
So
back
there's
at your
there's a hub you get later on in between missions.
Okay. Yeah.
You meet this girl named Peppermint. She's kind of like your companion.
Jessie.
Jessie?
From Final Fantasy.
Oh, I was like, what?
Erica Lindbeck.
Okay, yeah. Erica Lindbeck, yeah. It's her. But you go to this base, you can like change outfits, kind of stuff like that, cosmetics, and you can talk to her to upgrade. You can get new combos.
Okay.
So you can like mix when you're like mixing in light and heavy attacks. It's really fun.
Air combos, dude.
You can launch people in the air and stuff like that. All that good stuff. And
boss fights.
Yeah, I was gonna say the boss fights. There's some really creative boss fights. Like one of the second boss fight is this like huge jacked woman. She's a brute, dude. But there's like different phases she'll go through. Like you'll go through like, take away a quarter of her health, phase 2. Take away a quarter of her health, phase 3. Kind of remind me of 7 Remake almost, Damiani, how like there'd be like phases and like little transition things.
Yeah.
Not as quite as elaborate as that, but the fights are pretty cool and like out there. Like she picked up these huge like pipes and was like swinging them around and there's like, electricity going on.
Did you say Birkin?
No.
In your brain?
No.
That's too bad.
Well, because when I think of Birkin, it's a small pipe.
One pipe.
It's like just a small pipe. She's like picking up huge fucking pipes, dude. Swinging them around. It's really cool so far. Oh, you also get like the girl Peppermint. You can have her come in battle with you, like throw out attacks, she'll like shoot with like her guns and fly back in. So like she's good at taking out some enemy shields. They like some guys have shields. She'll come in and like shoot them, so you can get rid of the shields real quick. But so far it's good. I assume there's more characters you're gonna get like that.
Yeah.
We're still pretty early, so I'm curious to see how it opens up more.
I've just been in a super weird personal space with my gaming lately, where like nothing is doing it for me, but also nothing like it's like I'm just not great, nothing's really grabbing me, Hi-Fi Rush, I feel like I should have beaten by now. By how good it is and how easy, easy it is to play.
So I haven't like burned through this game either. I kind of liked playing one
stage
big stage.
Yeah,
it felt kind of nice because the stages are kind of long.
Yeah,
like 40 minutes. It seems like I don't think they're maybe that long, but it felt like a pretty long.
Yeah. There's also a huge long-term progression element back in your hub challenges you do.
Yeah.
That like fill in this really cool art wall mural in your hub. So it's like you get this cool visual reward, but then also like you get some bolts and stuff for doing that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been really interesting to see the reception of this game. People are really into it.
Yeah.
The writing, Definitely goofy, but I think it's done pretty well.
Yeah, it really works.
Yeah, it really works. I think the characters do a good job at selling it, like the voice actors, I should say.
He's really endearing.
Yeah, he is. And I think, like you said, physical comedy probably
Yeah.
helps a lot. It just, the tone feels established and set and good.
Really.
It's not taking me from ha 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 to let's be serious now. All right.
Yeah. The fate of the entire universe is at stake. Let's crack some jokes. Ha ha ha. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
no,
like,
no.
hey,
Yeah.
you just met this kid, they're dead now. It's not like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I really like it. Well, I can't wait to play more of it, but it's nice to see Tango get some damn respect.
Some damn respect.
Some damn
They make
respect.
great games.
Our audience is very high in this game also.
Oh my god.
We had a lot of people talking
this is
about
a
this
crowd
game. This is a crowd pleaser.
dude. This game is such a crowd pleaser.
Curry Powder 84 wrote in, "Hey allies, I can hardly believe it as I just rolled credits on Hi-Fi Rush and came to a realization that I may just have played a GOTY contender. Overall reception has been
incredible,
super positive too. As of the time of my writing, it got a 91 on OpenCritic and is overwhelmingly positive on Steam user reviews. As a massive Evil Within fan, I am over the moon with the reception that it has gotten and couldn't be happier for Tango Gameworks. They never seem to get the recognition they deserve. Still, deep down, I wish the Evil Within got the same amount of love as Hi-Fi Rush is getting. Anyway, my question is, has there been any game like this that surprised you in how high quality it was? It doesn't have to be a shadow drop like Hi-Fi Rush, but maybe a game that you had no expectations for and end up loving and perhaps even becoming a GOTY contender for you. Keep up the great work. Love and respect." Let's see. A game that came out of nowhere that we ended up loving. Or surprising how high quality it was. I guess, Damiani, Kirby's been kind of like that for me in the Forgotten Land. You know, most Kirby games, I'm just kind of like, whatever, dude. Kirby's fine. I don't like as much as other people, though. I think it's not as good. But I feel like Kirby Forgotten Land is like pretty damn high quality.
No, and I agree with that. I get it's the first part about coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like it felt like was seeing that coming. Like,
It's our job.
I don't think
it's our
I saw it
job to
coming.
predict that shit. So it's hard for things to come out of nowhere.
I guess it's like maybe a game that's either an entry in a game that was unexpected. Like even though it was being advertised, it's like this is different from past ones, or a new IP that came out. Like even if it was looking good, it's like did it actually live up? Like that's the best I could give you. And Kirby fits into that because like I was constantly turned off.
Yeah,
because
I guess like when I saw a perspective of Kirby, like this more 3D one, I was like, whatever, dude. That's cool. That's just a small step. That's not enough to keep the game good.
I felt like it had potential. I'm like, I'm intrigued. I want to try this out. It's the first Kirby game that like I look at it. I'm like, I would try this, give it a chance, not just like dismiss it outright. And yeah, I'm without that. Like a new IP coming. That maybe. Even from like a team that made like other types of games, and this wasn't the type of game they were known for, like a Valkyria Chronicles. But I remember seeing it. I remember it looked awesome visually. It had a very unique visual style. But I'm like, is this gonna be good? And played that. I was like blown away by how good it was. Like, okay, this is legitimately really nice. And like I hadn't played a game like it either. That was the other thing. I was like, I never played like a real time tactics RPG where everything moves when you're moving. It's not like take your turn, everything waits, and like no shit shoots at you when you're moving through. It's like, oh damn, this obviously not literally all real time, like they don't move as well, but gave like a little bit of a rush when you were moving around. Like there were hazards, like landmines, like I don't know, like it was really cool. Like I remember just like the first time playing that, and like I still think that game holds up very well.
Yeah.
Anything for you, Huber?
Can't think of anything.
That's totally fine.
But I can't think about the. I always find it funny the IP versus sequel argument. Here we are, Hi-Fi Rush, brand new IP.
Yes.
Exciting.
Yes.
But do we want it to just end now?
Yeah, it's like
it's not a new IP anymore. It's no longer a new IP. They need each other. There's no reason.
There's definitely some excitement with something new. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's like they go hand in hand. Peanut butter and jelly here, dude. New IPs, and then they become the franchise, and sequels come. It's like
Vampire Survivors was another one.
Oh, yeah, I think that's a great example.
Great example.
I think that's a really great example.
There it is. Perfect.
Because I remember, I looked at that game. I was like, this game looks like shit.
Perfect.
I'm like, what are they just reusing assets from other games? It looked like.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game's awesome.
I also didn't expect Citizen Sleeper to be a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that seems like something I would enjoy. But it's like, oh, I love it.
Garrett Holfish wrote in, Hi-Fi Rush proves that we should let AAA studios make smaller creative games to refresh from time to time. I imagine studios like Naughty Dog could use it after so much The Last of Us. What other studios do you think could use a creative outlet like this? I remember Insomniac was kind of doing some more experimental stuff. They did that game Song of the Deep.
Yeah.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
I never
could only
played
buy it at GameStop.
Yeah, I never played it. But just
That's
stuff like that.
one of
But
the
like,
ones I haven't played from them.
I would love more big studios to do stuff like this. I'd absolutely love it.
Same.
I know.
But who?
One of the
Anyone.
someone at
I mean, Naughty Dog's a great example.
Someone at Monolith Soft. Forget if it was. Forget which one. So I don't want to say the wrong name. But one of the leads there wanted to work on like a smaller scale project, like more of a passion project. This seems to like be a thing.
Yeah,
Like, I think a lot of developers
I bet
have done
developers
this.
really want to do stuff
I feel
like
like
that.
Sakurai as well has been on this. It's kind of like what I feel like Hajime Tabata left like Square Enix. Want to work on like something like maybe a little bit not like, smaller scale.
Yeah, because I mean, he was working on like Final Fantasy, the biggest budget. Because I can imagine, you're working on like a single game for like 5 years. You might want something like a little refresh, something that doesn't take you 5 years to make.
Totally.
Something you can do a little more outside the box kind of thing. Like I think Naughty Dog is a great example.
Oh, the best example. It's time, dude. It's time for
Like no doubt they're
something
extremely
new.
high quality studio, but I would love to see them do something just completely different.
Totally.
That's what also like Sakaguchi's been doing over Mistwalker, like with Fantasian and before the.
He's doing like RPGs a lot still, but they're like very different.
They're not like
they're not like
they're definitely
like Lost Odyssey kind of seemed more in line with like
those
high
ones were
budget
like the
ones,
last
but
ones, but then they went off on their
Fantasian, which I still want to play.
Yeah,
but I don't want to play it on my phone, or I guess I can play it on my laptop. That sounds like pain in the ass too.
can.
I don't want to do that. But yeah,
how about if one last ride, dude, like Miyamoto and Aonuma, right? Zelda?
How
about they team up and they make just some like
they've been teamed up.
No, but I mean one last game and they just do some like big serious something to go the other way. Something like
ultra realistic violence.
Yeah, ultra realistic violence, dude. Ultra realistic violence.
Miyamoto making a game with guns.
I don't think he has the
That's
heart
been like
for that.
the meme for all of this.
I don't think he can do that.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that. I mean, Miyamoto is like
know,
passion
just
projects like
spitballing.
Pikmin. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
that's
kind of
like
his
not,
thing right now.
Yeah, it's tough because it's tough to answer that question right now because I feel like we're in this era where, to me, studios are less defined because personnel is always getting shaken up. Acquisitions are always happening. Like, we always talk about like Rare is not Rare anymore. Just like it just feels a little different. Whereas like Naughty Dog, easy answer. They're so clearly defined. They've had, Last of Us. And
Well, I think it helps when your studio has like a face to it almost. Because like Neil, you think of Naughty Dog, you think of Neil.
Sure.
You think of Tango, you think of Mikami.
Totally.
It's like they have those kind of personalities and faces, I guess.
Would be a Todd Howard little passion project.
Exactly. Todd Howard is a face. They did Fallout Shelter, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that counts.
Yeah. But I think about like From Software did Deracine, a small little PSVR game.
Yeah.
Which was very different.
Yeah.
Which I liked. I thought it was cool. But like, not a lot of people play because it's VR. So, but maybe hopefully we'll see more of that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of that from Sony, especially with VR 2 coming out. Maybe smaller games.
I don't necessarily want it. I don't know if I want it. Because they only make 10 out of 10s, and their next game is going to be a 10 out of 10. Super Giant Games.
Yeah.
Hades 2 is coming.
Yeah.
What if they made some, like, big budget open world game,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I want that or not because I don't want to mess.
Yeah,
I don't want to mess with what they're doing because they only make bangers.
They're a smaller team for sure.
Yeah,
and that's like you need hundreds of people. I feel like
Yeah,
for some shit like that. Maybe maybe if they want to do that, they probably could. Someone would probably invest in them.
I feel like we need maybe less open world games.
True.
We don't
True.
need as many.
Scale it back.
I don't have a problem with open
Just
world games.
spitballing, just spitballing.
I think you just need to make them more interesting. That's all.
Absolutely, Brad. Don't leave me hanging.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I think open world games are cool. I get why people are burnt out on them. I don't think they need to be as long as they are, but I think as long as you make them interesting and different, there's value there.
You'll get caught up in the ghost wire.
Yeah.
Good open world. Cool open world, dude.
Okay, this is from Mellow Fellow. Hey, allies, I'm loving Hi-Fi Rush. The combat, movement, everything comes together so well. My only thing is, though, is licensed music can take me out of a game. Kind of breaks immersion when I hear real-life track in a game unless it's contextualized. Even then, I'm still iffy on it. So streamer mode was the way to go for me. I know Hubert mentioned on his stream he prefers original music over licensed.
Oh, yeah.
How does the rest of the panel feel? Yeah.
I am 9.99999% of the time.
I
99.9. Yeah. Licensed
Like,
music,
I
it pisses
think
me off.
the licensed music is just pretty well so far in the game. Like, I'm like, okay, fits. But I think I'd be even more interested if it was just their own music.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think having licensed music is necessarily a benefit
Yeah.
to it.
I feel like maybe it was for the marketing.
Maybe.
Honestly,
Yeah, it
they
could be.
didn't know how big. They probably did not predict how.
No, I don't think they did.
They believed in it, obviously. That game is incredible. They knew it was amazing, but like, wow, how big it is. And I wonder if licensed music kind of just helps that, the trailer flashing
Yes,
bands on there.
I
It's
think
eye-catching
so.
to people. Like,
I think so.
it's a selling point, but yeah, I don't like that shit.
Yeah,
I don't like it in movies. I don't like it in games. Get it out of my face, dude. It is so distracting. It pulls me out of the world. It pulls me out of your fantasy world and back to reality, and I don't want to be in reality. I want to be in your fantasy world. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you answer? Did you feel the same?
Well, I didn't play it, so
Just
but
in
the-
general, though. Licensed music, Damiani.
But I don't know if I played like a lot of games that like use licensed music versus like an original track.
How about in movies?
It's
then?
more annoying when like there's no like real replacement for it. And you get, like,
Life is Strange: True Colors.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, I didn't play that, but like hearing about that,
It's just
was-
silence.
Yeah. It's not great when so I would like always say game company needs to have a good alternative to licensed music for every game. If that means double the work, then that's unfortunately what it's going to be because that's the reality of it.
Yeah. Like, dude, think of Control. I don't want to spoil anything. There is a part in that game in universe with a really, really cool song. Imagine if that was just like Metallica or something.
Well, because she has like headphones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But it's like
there's
in Hi-Fi Rush, it's like, he has like an iPod in his chest, like an Iron Man thing.
True, yeah. So I guess the iPod would have like licensed tracks.
But it's like
is the context.
The Black Keys exists in
in Hi-Fi Rush. Yeah,
Hi-Fi
it's
Rush.
so weird. It's so weird. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Good
it's
question.
weird. Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right, it is time for Sort It Out. Anyone got one this week?
Just kind of with like Hi-Fi Rush and everything. I was just thinking about like it's nothing. I don't know. My brain. I was just thinking about like how awesome it is to see this side of the zeitgeist and the internet and just everyone praising and loving this game. And it just made me think about Forspoken getting dunked on for like one little clip of dialogue, It made me think of The Evil Within 1 getting dunked on for having black bars, It's like sometimes people just latch on to one single thing and that becomes the game's identity. So it's kind of the opposite of Sorted Out, I guess. It's like, yo, dude, this just like the Sorted Out was like, let's not dunk on something like straight away with the immediate 0 to 100 hot take.
I think that's Sorted Out.
Sorted Out. 0 to 100 hot take is unnecessary.
I think
Because I like this.
I honestly think with Hi-Fi Rush, the price point super helped the game. Like it's on
Pass.
Game Pass, great. A lot of people have that. It's $30. You know,
Yeah.
people are more willing to take a swing on a game like that
Yeah.
than Forspoken, which is $70. That's a much harder sell.
Yeah.
Much harder.
Definitely. Thinking about like Spider-Man puddles. Just like really dumb.
Yeah, people get hung up on some dumb shit.
Like singular issues, dude. And they're just, all right, they just write the whole thing off. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah. sorted out. E3.
Oh,
what the
let's
hell?
talk about
Great
that. Yes.
one,
What the
dude.
hell?
Sort it
Like,
out.
what the hell is the point if you can't even get one of the big three to show up? Like, I wasn't like realistically expecting. I was in my mind. I'm like, Microsoft will be somewhat a part of it. Nintendo get Nintendo. Sony probably not.
Right.
Like Sony might want to do like a wait and see if they really like this. You know, the Reed Pop and the new group coming in, like Stride PR or whatever, to help run this thing. If they could get the ship together, and maybe they would win them back. But getting all three of them to be like, you know, the IGN reports and they have multiple sources confirming that none of them are
None of the big
any
three?
kind of presence. No,
Yeah.
no press conference, no show floor, nothing. And it's like if you're the ESA or sorry, whoever is running this, whatever the hell is holding this up, if they like, there's any hope, you give them whatever the hell they want.
Yeah,
you
I think you should.
Make it out
like
to cash.
this is it. This is it. This is their last chance.
It really
like,
is.
after everything that happened through COVID, like it's unfortunate, but like it accelerated things. If they can't get this one to be like huge, I think it's over. Like there's no point to trying again.
You know what I'm
after
scared
this.
about Damiani is if they open it to the public, as it is right this year.
Well,
Yeah.
it's,
There's
it's
press
split.
and public
It's
days.
split.
Yeah. So they got those public days. I feel like if somehow they make enough money that way, like I'm worried the focus is going to shift to like, how do we make this profitable? And that's it. We don't care about.
I think that's the way it was going.
That's what they were doing.
Yeah.
But they've also tried this before. There was when E3 went to a weird place. They did E
for All, where
and the first
Mike
year
went
but,
to.
But the first year they got like a bunch of people to show up. Like they had Smash Brothers and Metal Gear Solid 4. Like they had big shit there.
Metal Gear Solid 4 in the van with the headphones, dude.
Yes, it was legit.
Oh my god.
It was legit. But then the next year they brought it back, the companies were like didn't like it, so they all backed out. When they had no one there, people got like not enough people showed up. They canceled it after that.
Yeah.
So they could try that, but if they don't have the company show up,
What are you going to do?
no one's gonna like people won't
What if
come
the
anymore.
focus then some, I mean it's a tall order, but I feel like if the big three are not going to be there, then your entire focus needs to be on the rest of the industry, especially indies, smaller studios. So like E3 traditionally has been known as this huge IMAX blockbuster AAA event, right? That's the main thing. Obviously all the other smaller games are there, of course, but like shifting that focus then to
I mean,
everything else, like really hyping up just the industry and all games. It's
think
going to be hard. It's going to be a hard
they
sell
would
because
yeah.
like missing those three is just a crushing, devastating
I
blow.
feel like you need to have all the third party companies show
Yep.
up then,
Big
and then
time.
it's also every year it's reliant. Whereas first parties usually each year will have something that'll be worth being there to attract people. Third
Yeah.
parties, it might be an off year for them. So like even like a big company like Capcom, I mean they've had years where they really don't have much coming out, just the way
Yeah.
the dice fall sometimes.
Remake 4 will have already been out at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, even Capcom showing up this year, it's like, well, unless they have like a new Monster Hunter like World, they're gonna announce and like have something.
or some 4 DLC already.
I mean,
they'll show Dragon's Dogma,
or,
I guess.
yeah, Dragon's Dogma play like something. It's like also gonna be there too. It can't just
Yeah.
be an announcement. Like that's
Yeah.
the press conferences. Like Square Enix, it's like, would Rebirth be playable there? Like that would be a huge thing to have. Like that would actually.
I was
be
trying
a
to think
big
like,
draw.
I guess that'd be it.
But there are a lot of third parties that just don't even go anymore. Like EA does not go anymore. Like would
That's
they really
another
get them to
huge
show
one,
up and
yeah.
like
They're always like,
yeah.
they were like off-site always.
Yeah,
that means Ubisoft is like the only big kid in town now.
Well, if Square's there, that's a big kid
And Square.
for sure.
I mean, like, yeah,
we don't know who's gonna be
need,
there.
Like,
Yeah.
honestly, like, you need like, I mean, Armored Core is
From Soft?
but is that Bandai? Is that Sony? Which is it?
that owns Armored Core? I think that's Bandai.
So it could be multi-console.
Well, I don't know if they own it, but I think they're involved.
Basically, it's something that's not like that wouldn't be console exclusive, but like the multi-platform, like an Elden Ring type thing, where
Yeah,
they
yeah,
can
yeah.
just show up and
Yeah,
like,
I don't think Armored
like
Core's
Bandai Namco has a booth. And it's like FromSoft's next game is here. Would
Yeah,
be,
yeah,
like,
I think that's a
huge-
big deal.
So
Yeah.
like, but that's also again very dependent. So
Yes.
this is like a big problem.
Yeah.
And it's
and
very
isn't Keeley a week before this?
so.
He just announced, right?
yeah, Keely's like really
There's like
close
some
to
kind of
this.
like
Yeah.
conference thing we know about.
Yeah, Keely's doing his own thing, and
Yep.
he did
Yeah.
stuff last year where that Blood and Ben went to.
But also
play.
like I don't like don't know if they even like they would want to go with him either. Like I think this is like
Right, I don't know if they want to go with
this
anyone.
might be something different. So like that's why I'm like saying like this might be like the last chance, you know, like do everything you can. If they still say no, then it's like you got your answer. This is just not going to work.
Yeah.
But like it's especially weird with Microsoft because I think Phil Spencer's like kind of answers in the more recently about the topic have been they want to be like adjacent to it, like because they do their own event like right next door to E3.
Yeah, the
they
theater.
still do their like they do their press event that's like in the same week. Like even if they committed to that, that's still like kind of them being there, even though they're not really there.
Yeah.
Like they could they get like Nintendo and Sony maybe do something like that, where like okay, you don't have to be in our show floor, but do something nearby and agree to do your press conference that week, and we're good. Like we just want that. They can't even get that. Then I mean,
Yeah.
you know, there's. Yeah, but I think the real issue is like especially Sony and Nintendo, they've had a taste of, you know,
Doing their own thing, and it
really
works.
doing it on their own terms. And I think
What I would love to see those numbers, Damiani. The price of doing a direct or a state of play versus E3.
Dude,
What's
E3
that
is
cost?
very
So that's
expensive.
what I'm
What's
saying, like,
that cost?
very expensive.
Millions,
well,
probably.
like the people running E3 need to like reach out to me like, is it just you don't want to pay anything? Like
yeah.
I mean,
Is cost the only factor?
yeah,
we
it's like,
don't
what
even
are
know
we gonna
that.
do? Like, I mean, I don't know if they could afford it, but if they could, it's like just say like you don't have to pay shit to show up. We'll
Yeah.
pay for all your stuff. I don't know if that's feasible, but like everything should be on the table at this point because
Honestly,
this
Yeah, they
is
should be doing
this
everything
is
they
the
can.
most distressing like thing to hear about like this huge effort. I know ESA's had its problems, but like bringing in new entities to kind of run it this time, I felt like there's a little bit of optimism going into this, and also. While it's you know it might be better for companies, honestly losing that like focused week sucks for like us. It's not good.
I just think the industry in general, like, yeah, you can be cynical about E3 and be like, yo, it's a relic of the past. Whatever, I get it. But like, dude, on the best of days, like, E3 is so special and so magical. It can be. And like, just being able to see everyone, like just interacting with everyone is my personal favorite thing. Like doing my syndromes, just talking to everyone and just celebrating games. That's what you're there to do, is just celebrate all of it. Like everything is exciting that week. You're looking at things that like you don't normally look at. You know, everyone is so passionate. Like, yo, this is what we've been working on. We're ready to share it. Like, miss that, dude. Miss that good, like you said, that focused week.
Yeah.
Fury's big week.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, people are doing demos a lot more, but you're still not going to get demos from everybody like you would at like a show floor. You know, I don't think like you would see games out on demos that you wouldn't get demo of, just period, I guess, right now, for everyone to play, you know?
Yeah.
So, and like actually getting to talk to a developer about their game is
Yeah.
very awesome.
There's like access there like no other event.
Yeah.
You know, just everyone is
They're
just ready to talk. Everyone's
Yeah.
just there ready to talk.
Showing their stuff,
Yeah. It's so nice.
Yeah, I think it's cool, like, getting, like, indie stuff. I think it's totally awesome. And there's been indie stuff there before, of course. And it'd be great, because, like, I want those games to get more shine, too. But I do think... I don't want E3 to become PAX, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to just be, like, PAX kind of thing.
Yeah, there are already enough consumer shows.
There's a
and
lot of
events
consumer
that
shows already.
E3 was something unique.
It was.
Yeah.
And if you can't get that back, then I mean,
It's a problem,
unfortunate.
yeah. But, like...
And yeah, like conferences can happen whenever. Like the
Yep.
press stuff like that,
Yep.
it's already gone where it's gone. It's going towards video. Like
Yeah.
even Microsoft now doing it. That's fine. We don't need the live presentations to come
Right,
back.
we don't
No,
need someone
no
on
one is
stage.
asking for that anymore.
I'm always asking.
Like
for
I mean,
that.
sure, like you lose like the concert, like the orchestra, like some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But like
Those days are done.
I would rather have them still doing them how they want to do, but like it's the show floor.
Yeah, me
Having
too.
that experience and having those games there and like the potential this year of them finally doing what we all asked for, like make press areas where it's just easier for press to go and more intimate, like, you know, smaller scale, and then the public have their own area. It's not just days, it's just like spaces to occupy so people can do their jobs who need to do their jobs, and then the public can still be there to fulfill that, you know, goal that companies are trying to do, which is like have their marketing reach out and get that like viral marketing going.
I think you nailed it, Damiani.
Yes.
This is it. Last chance. I wasn't thinking about it that way, and now that you say it, it absolutely
feels like it.
Feels like it for
all or nothing.
Sure, it's all, yeah, it's really
especially
all or
with
nothing.
Keeley right on their heels.
Yep.
Yeah, even if it doesn't, like, I just hope, like, maybe it's like ESA needs to be like dissolved. I was say abolished, but like dissolved, or like you know, go the way of the dodo, and like maybe the company, like the big three and other companies get together and like form a new organization. Maybe they just want to clean house, like
The
they just
commission, dude.
like,
It sounds like the mafia.
yeah. I don't know. I just don't like the organization. Whatever it takes to get back to an event like that where they all can, like, you know.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
It makes me miss PSX and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, we don't get that anymore either, which sucks.
Yeah, you don't even get that. It feels like when
Which was great.
Sean Layden left, that was the end of that
kind of thing. Wish you got more stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear from some of our listeners what they got. This is from Cathal Fallon. Sort it out, Nintendo, Microsoft. Could you not have done something with the GoldenEye release, like maybe more than 30 frames per second or smooth performance in areas? Also, the lack of online for the Xbox version just feels weird, especially since it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, I felt so weird this last little bit with games. Nothing's really, just haven't been feeling it.
There's
right?
one game you've been feeling that we'll talk about.
Exactly, yeah. I just haven't been feeling games. It is what it is right now. Haven't even booted up GoldenEye. One, because it's so personal with my bro.
And you don't have a Switch that works.
I have Xbox, so.
Oh, yeah.
One, because it's just so personal with my bro, and then two, because I've heard wait like a month or so for them to at least maybe iron out a little bit of this. Are they even going to, is the question. We don't even know. So yeah. Like, I don't like, will this game even get one patch? It remains to be seen, honestly, because it does sound like this was just a simple port job to get it working on these consoles, which is effing awesome because it's GoldenEye and it's been on an N64 cartridge for decades, unless you emulate ROM, whatever. But
yeah,
in
terms of the N64 version, I don't know if there's like a technical reason why they can't up the frame rate, because some of their games they did, like Pilot Wings.
Yeah, and some of them came right out the gate. Some got fixed later.
Yeah,
I mean, Ocarina of Time's gotten multiple adjustments to it.
Thank God.
So
remember, Perfect Dark on the Rare Replay version was really great.
Yeah, so maybe it's a matter of like this need, like, you know, they want to get it out and like they'll make adjustments after.
Yeah.
They might not. Obviously Nintendo already has like their online play thing when you like create a lobby, but it kind of sucks.
Yes.
Like, it's not. I don't think you'd want to play online that way. And I imagine that might, you know, I don't know why there's no online on the Xbox version. Could be a Nintendo stipulation where it's like you cannot have a feature we don't have. I don't know. There's always been the rumors like Nintendo never wanted like a superior version of GoldenEye appearing on any other platform.
I believe that. Yeah.
Because
like,
if Xbox did have online, it would be like, okay, I'm just gonna play.
Yeah, like, it would have to. Yeah, like you can't have that. So maybe they're like, oh, you don't have a way to have like gimped multiplayer like we do. Sorry, you can't have this.
Yeah.
So yeah,
sort it out.
This is from Jackie Lore. Sort it out. Fans need to stop complaining about how characters have face/voice changes to iconic characters. I get that change is different, but Isaac's new face makes him look like what he's supposed to be. Just a normal dude trying to do his job. Zack's new voice in Final Fantasy VII may not be the same, but if you actually gave it a chance instead of saying, he's not good as Rick Gomez, you realize that he's actually pretty decent. There's so many examples of communities hating on old characters getting new changes to their appearance or performances.
Resident Evil, I'm used to that. A lot of, voice actors come in and out there.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Whatever, it is what it is.
Final Fantasy Remake got like all new voice people. Like everyone's new in the English voice cast.
Yeah, we've like how many different voices have? Like I think like Advent Children had voices. Kingdom Hearts have had maybe.
So it had the same guy for Kingdom Hearts and like Advent Children and Crisis Core on PSP, the old Cloud voice actor. But like everyone's new in the English cast.
Air's voice actors
They've changed
a few
her.
times.
Yes, they've done that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think it was only, Mina Savari just for Advent Children?
Yeah, I did see
And
people
Kingdom Hearts
complaining
was someone
about
else.
Zack. Definitely. Which, I mean, Zack didn't bother me.
Sephiroth's head. Yeah.
Listen, all that shit in Japanese. So whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Can't even tell.
The one I would push back on a little bit, but I mean, I guess story wise, could make sense, is Snake David
Hayter?
Hayter for Keith Sutherland.
That's the one that bugs me, dude.
Yeah, I don't think it makes sense because you had Big Boss before.
Well, it's a It's not.
No, you're Big Boss in 3, right? So you're David Hayter.
Yeah.
Then you get Big Boss in Ground
Spoilers,
Zeroes.
look out here.
Okay.
Ground Zeroes.
Metal Gear spoilers, get out of here.
Okay, X spoilers.
Yep.
You're not Big Boss in Phantom Pain.
I know.
You're
I know.
So
Yeah, I hate that.
So it's a different
That
character.
doesn't.
Yeah.
I know, but it doesn't make sense because
Why would
it
they
makes
sound so-
no
yeah,
sense.
Yeah. Okay,
It's just
we can stop
Kojima
there.
wanting an actor in his game.
Okay,
That's
we'll
it.
Stop there. Yeah.
I hate that.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't like
Me
that
too.
explanation.
I don't like that.
Well,
I
that
don't like
was
it one bit.
the theory for Bayonetta as well.
Right.
Remember? But yeah.
Bayonetta.
That whole crazy thing.
But yeah, I mean, I saw people complaining about like Spider-Man. They changed his face for the
Face.
remaster.
I liked his original face.
I think his original face was fine too. I am kind of neutral on it. Like, I don't care that much.
That
But
one,
like, I get it. I totally get why people don't like it.
It doesn't bother me, but I'm always like,
It's just
why'd you
kinda
do that?
like- yeah, it's like, why did you do that?
Why'd
They
you do that? It
said
was great.
It was to make his face look more like
yeah,
the actor.
like Tom Holland looking.
But I'm like, but why? Like,
yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, I
Those,
like the first.
Love those definitive edition Xenoblade face updates. Those are good.
Those are good updates.
Those are necessary.
God damn, the original was ugly as hell.
Necessary.
Ugly as sin, that original game. Good
Not bad.
lord. But yeah. Son of Sparta wrote in, sort it out. Games need to seriously cool it with day one DLC. Day one DLC being a thing is already annoying, but when the first thing you show me after I boot up your game on the day of its release is essentially an ad asking me to pay even more, then the whole thing just starts to feel like it's a tasteless parody. I'm looking at you, Fire Emblem Engage. I didn't pay $60 to be greeted by a paragraphs of day one DLC descriptions when I launched the game on its release day. The fact that one of the best maps and emblems in the game is part of this DLC makes this even worse. Sort it out. I think that's a very awesome write and
Also, sort it out for them for more amiibo bullshit. There's an amiibo carousel. I
know.
And your non-Fire Emblem things give you trash, but the Fire Emblem ones give you
Damiani,
good
I'm worried about
stuff.
Tears of the
there's
Kingdom,
there's
man.
tickets. There's these dumb red and green tickets you get. I think one of them is released from Amiibo, and that's how you get like alternate costumes that are like links. It's like the Zelda shit
it's
again.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild again.
Fuck that shit.
There's music
Yeah.
ones, but they're a different color, and I think I got one in the
Sort
game
it out.
already, so I don't think you need Amiibo for them. And so you might not need Amiibo for any of them, but like apparently Fire Emblem Amiibo, I think will get you some of those like every so often, so it could speed up.
Well,
that
it's like,
process.
dude, okay, so with Zelda, okay. Make all these sick tunics, man. All the tunics from the original, the older ones.
Made them paid. Like
Well, I was gonna say,
you could have waited like 6
one,
months and been like, here.
Let you buy them. 2, you get them immediately with the amiibo, but they're out in the game if you go find them and spend time doing it.
Dude, that would have been sick if they were like placed
Like,
in
if
the
you just
game
fucking
somewhere as like
found
a
it.
secret.
Yes.
Dude, like extra like hidden chest like in a area that you gotta go explore. Dude, like NPC just gives you
It's
a cryptic.
so
dude, it should give
bad.
you like a cryptic clue about a location. If you find it, there's a chest there. in
Yeah,
it,
it's
dude.
so bad.
Way better than the fucking system clock abuse to re-roll. Keep re-rolling the thing so I can see if I get the damn thing.
DLC is disgusting. I hate the amiibo.
They love their amiibo.
Like, I'm a damn fool. I bought those amiibo
they keep
because I want those. You're being dirty and doing Zelda stuff.
The only DLC I'll allow to be advertised
Day one?
even before a game is out or day one,
Skins.
is like story shit that comes out later. That's it. Like if they announce it before the game is out, like yo, this game's coming out, we're also gonna have a story DLC in a couple months
But
here.
that's not like day one though.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, they're
day one
advertising it to
specific.
you, but
Yeah.
it's like not in the game immediately.
Oh, sorry.
Dominique is sleuthing
we
something
got
up.
an E3 update. Real quick. Keep
shit.
talking while I get this.
Well,
Sorry.
that's the end of this.
Yeah, I think
for
of
them.
Assassin's Creed,
All right.
Brad. Obviously, we always talk about.
Hold
all
on, we'll
that
get this one
BS.
sorted out, and real quick, this is the last one for sorted out.
Yeah.
This is from Francisco. Sorted out. Multi-year long marketing roulettes or rollouts for games to build up hype that ultimately leads to overinflated expectations from consumers. That's it.
So really long
Really long like
Runways.
marketing. Yeah,
Yeah.
like think
Tears of the
Starfield.
Kingdom,
Tears of the Kingdom, Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6,
Suicide Squad, kind of.
Suicide Squad. Yeah, I understand games are things change in development all the
Yeah,
time. So
yeah.
and
one's
not
tough.
everyone has the luxury of being able to announce stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like first parties, I think have the luxury more so, but not everybody. But
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Totally.
All right, Damiani, go ahead.
All right. ReedPop has issued a statement. The message, which was obtained by IGN and subsequently confirmed to be authentic, can be viewed below. As you have likely seen, IGN published an article last night about E3. While we are not able to comment on the specific claims in the article, we wanted to share our commitment to moving forward with E3. E3 has a rich history within our industry, and we are always heartened to feel the passion for the show and hear what it means to different people. Reviving a trade show after a 3-year hiatus and a global pandemic was always going to have its challenges, which is why we conducted an extensive search in consultation with the ESA member companies to identify the best partner to produce E3. In selecting ReedPop as our partner, we have been able to tap into the rich history of hosting popular events like PAX and broader consumer shows like Comic-Con. Oops, sorry, went away. They have made strong progress in reshaping the event and have received tremendous support from the industry companies of all sizes who are not only thinking about E3 2023, but how E3 fits into the marketing plans for 2024 and beyond. It's important to note that even as the show evolves and adapts, it will not impact the core of ESA's work for its member companies. Our priority remains advocating for your policy interests and stay blah, blah, blah. We will share news and developments regarding E3 as they're available. If you have questions in the meantime, okay, so that's a bunch of nonsense right there.
Right.
Here's the important thing. Xbox, meanwhile, is understood to be working with ReedPop to host a separate physical showcase the weekend before E3 2023, which is currently set to be held at Los Angeles Convention Center from June 13th.
Wait, they're going to do something at the convention center a week early?
Apparently it's going to have its own thing right before in conjunction with, like, it's going to be part of E3, but, like, not the E3 dates, but its own event.
Is that Keeley time then?
It's right after, I think. Keeley's thing is right before.
Yeah. Is this going to be like a 2-week, 3-week thing now?
It's shaping up to be like, I think Keeley's thing's the Thursday before E3, and E3 goes till the next week, so we're like looking at a 10-day thing right now.
Fuck.
At least a week. No, sorry, a week. Thursday to Thursday would be a week. So 7 days right now. Like
strap in.
Yeah,
strap
in.
in.
I mean, E3 wasn't a full week before. It was like 4 or 5 days. Now we're looking at like 7 to 8 days.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was a little weirded out that Microsoft was not going to be doing anything, but it sounds like they are doing something adjacent, just not during the days. Okay.
Weird. I wonder why not on the days, though. I guess maybe just everyone wants
They probably want their own focus.
Spotlight.
Also, I imagine they could be more restrictive of who gets to get in then at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking some of these companies maybe don't want the public to be at their things. So maybe
that makes sense.
Maybe Microsoft and or Sony are like, we don't want the public to come into this. Like, we just want press
that's
at
when
this.
When the public got involved, that's when they stepped out, it felt like. A lot of these companies like Sony.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing. So, yeah, that other statement reads more like, like it's challenging. So please understand if we don't have them all here. Mm-hmm. But like maybe next year, it's like goddamn
damage control.
Or at least maybe getting one of them, just like in a different way.
Yeah,
maybe, which is better than nothing.
Yeah.
But still disappointing.
It's like I would do everything I could to just get that Starfield reveal or something. Like, you just need the one. You need the one thing. You need to be like, hey, Starfield, full reveal, or like we've already seen some of it. Yeah, something is only here. They need something that big that's only available there, but that's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Okay. It's time for Keep It Up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Just it's the opposite sorted out for everyone at home. Something you appreciate in gaming. Something you're like, hell yeah, keep it up. And honestly, like most people, keep it up, Tango.
Keep it up, Tango.
Keep it up, Tango. Yeah. Doing good.
Keep it up.
All right, this is from Kohlmeyer. So, with Hi-Fi Rush coming out and All By Account being an excellent action game, I was curious. The lead game designer is Masaki Yamada, who aside from working on Resident Evil 1 and 2 and directing Beautiful Joe 2, was a game designer for Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, and Vanquish, which explains a lot. Yep. I just love how this game feels like a PS2 action game, and if it comes to pass, to make it easy for these smaller games and passion projects, keep it up.
Keep it up.
Yep.
This is from Andrade.
All the people are like digging into the personnel at Tango now.
Yeah, me too.
It's like, yes.
This is from Andranis Cleanthos. Keep it up. Hitman Freelancer released, and it is amazing. Mm-hmm. You have a safe house with which you can customize a mastery level of up to 100, which gives rewards every time. There is so much to do, and it is a free update. It's challenging, and I'm struggling to make it to the third syndicate, but I'm having so much fun. My only gripe is that there's no new trophies. So keep it up, IO. You are awesome, and I can't wait to see the Bond game you're working on. My respect.
Oh, yeah.
Cannot wait for that.
Yes. This is from Sloptot. Keep it up. Blizzard has been doing really well with Dragonflight. Updates have been coming in at a good speed in terms of balance changes. Recently just got the 10.5 patch, 10.05 patch, and they are actually communicating with the players on what's to come, since we have already seen an overview of 10.07 as well as a longer-term roadmap for a while ago. It was painful to get to this spot, but where we are now, Blizzard, keep it up. Yeah, I've been hearing good things about WoW. I haven't really played any of it, but I've been hearing good things. It is a shame it took this long to get there, but it seems they are learning with WoW, so good job. It's from TJ Price. Keep it up. Much has been said about the vast amount of cross-gen AAA releases over the past couple years, to the point that many people still refer to the current gen as next gen. 3 years after the Xbox One came out, barely anything happened for the 360. Although we didn't have to deal with the global pandemic. But unlike in recent years, it really seems like developers are starting to prioritize current hardware. Dead Space, both Final Fantasy 16 and Rebirth, Starfield, Tekken 8, and Space Marine 2 are just a few examples of massive releases only available on current gen and PC. Nature appears to be healing, and I'm so grateful for it.
Nature.
Rules of nature.
Yeah, I'm glad we're getting finally current gen only versions of games.
Yes.
Like they said, totally COVID and shortages have been an issue. That's why it's probably gone on longer, but with things becoming more available, hopefully we can move forward.
Yeah. New console adopters always want to see like that
yeah,
jump
you want
in
a reason why you bought your console.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like in the early year to two transition, there are definitely people who don't want to make that jump right away, who do like each time this happens feel like, they're kind of being like kicked to the curb a little bit.
I'd still rather have maybe a cross-gen game if crazy sentence. I'd still might rather have a cross-gen game though if the current gen version is 60 frames versus this game is only on current gen but it's 30.
Yeah.
It looks great. It's
depends.
Next gen. It's crazy.
So I kind of agree and I kind of don't, because we're still at a point where that seems like a normal thing, but I'm waiting till we get to way more crazy shit.
Yeah.
Where you're like, this absolutely could not work on previous hardware.
Yeah.
Like we think of God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Definitely feels like a PS4 game in a lot of ways still.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I wish I could have seen what it's like ground up PS5 game. Yeah. Like I'm sure we'll see that kind of with like Spider-Man or something like that. We'll see. As we continue, maybe we'll see that with Final Fantasy 16.
Spider-Man. Dude, Wolverine.
Yeah.
Wolverine.
I feel like the Wolverine claw destruction, dude.
Yeah.
That is the only thing I want to be groundbreaking and the best. Like, if you can't claw, everything you claw in Wolverine better react to the claws, or else I'm out of it, dude. Not boycott, not like that. But you need that, dude. You need that destruction with those claws. I don't need things to be everything breaking apart, but at least reacting to that.
Yeah. Maybe some sparks coming out when you hit surfaces.
Yeah, shit like
attack.
that.
Yeah.
Wood chips versus metal.
Yeah, exactly.
You need that.
Yeah, I think it's fair. As always, we give some shout outs to some of our most generous patrons who are in the shout out tier. This episode, we got Jabbawabs, Elthanas, Greg TheDarkKnight Kettering, and Raymond Wheeler III. Shout out.
Shout out.
Thank you. Appreciate it as always.
Much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, patrons. Thanks to everyone for writing in.
Thank you.
All right, Damiani, it is time for Forspoken time.
Yeah, you played some.
I played about 2.5 hours of this game. Yeah.
All right.
So why don't you talk a little about Forspoken? Why don't you tell us about it?
First real game from Limitless Productions.
Yes, since 15?
Yeah, studio formed after Final Fantasy 15.
Got it.
Hajime Tabata was originally the head
leader?
honcho of it.
Okay.
Departed.
When did he depart? Did he depart after 15? Like pretty
You remember
soon?
they did that like DLC anniversary announcement event.
I know not all that came out. Yeah.
And then like they announced like they're canceling the DLC, and oh by the way, he left like 3 days ago.
Yeah,
it was,
man.
Like, it was very weird.
15 is such a weird game, and like
yeah.
the amount of stuff around it.
It was after 15 had come out, and they were. It was like a year into DLC already.
Right.
Like
yeah.
episode
because they did
was,
the 4 characters
they
in
said
Arden.
Arden was the last one, but they had ones planned after, and they just didn't do them.
The Luna one, I think, right? And
Probably.
the Dragoon Girl. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, he left. Supposedly the project that he was working on got scrapped.
Oh.
And they started anew on a new project that current director who took over the helm.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what it is. Like, we've been hearing about it.
Yeah,
CEO of
we
Square Enix have been like
what was
hyping it up.
The tech thing, Aggie's philosophy, was that what it was called?
Yeah, but so the studio is more sticks out for their history of their tech demos.
Mm-hmm.
Aggie's philosophy. There was like the Witch Cry demo, which is the same like main character in the first demo, just showing off some tech effects. But like the effects they are using are like the effects you see, like that gold foil shit. Like it's in here too. So like the origins of like their tech. And then in more recent years, like leading up to this, they were showing like open world tech, like how it could like generate giant dynamic open worlds that don't feel like necessarily copy pasted, but don't require like the same like love and care as like more meticulous detailing that could have added years to development potentially. Anyway, so like the background for this is important because like from a tech perspective, there's been a lot of intrigue and interest in this studio.
Yeah.
But also the hopes that the CEO is pinning on this studio and their game, and then like names attached to it. Like you had Amy Hennig and Gary Whitta's name attached to this for the story. Even though they didn't end up being writers, they just kind of contributed the concept of the
they
story.
were story credit?
They're not
They have a
writers.
story credit?
They have a concept story credit, but they did
Nice.
not write the
Okay,
story
cool.
whatsoever. They didn't write the dialogue or
I love
anything
story
like
credits.
that. So I mean, and yeah, like just a different setting, like a real world character from New York. It's like, oh, so we're gonna have like a real set, real world stuff moved to fantasy. So interesting concepts there.
Sure.
Anyway, here it's now out. People have gone to play it. It is a open world game, but it is very heavy-handed in terms of its like guiding. It's chapters. It's a bunch of chapters. There's a main narrative objective in each chapter. Some of them are just like walking around the main town, interacting with people.
I want to play this game so bad.
Or it's going to one of the 4 major regions of the world and confronting a boss, essentially. Now, the interesting thing to me, is that I say heavy-handed because a lot of times it felt like you could just run to your objective if you want to, and you can be done with this game in like 20 or less hours if you want.
I think you can streamline it pretty
If
quick.
you want to, but if you like start wandering around, like at times, I don't think it was. I wasn't even the third area. I won't spoil it, but like the third area, I was like, it just kind of warps you around to like objectives by like through like transitions and the cutscenes. And I was like, after I did it all, I'm like, wait, could I have just run around? I could have just run around the whole zone, couldn't I? Have like, oh shit, like yeah, it's like I forgot it's open world. Like they don't really like say go out and do everything. It's like no, like it's a story. It is a story, and they're trying to maintain that narrative. And I think that might be it's good for cohesion, but also I think it's a detriment because juggling narrative,
really interesting.
Juggling narrative and like player authority in terms of exploring is one of the hardest things
In an open world, absolutely.
The polar opposite, it's Breath of the Wild, where
Yep.
it's like you like there's no story unless you really will go do all the stuff, and then like it fills in the gaps. Otherwise, you could just like go out and do whatever you want and get no story, and like we're cool. I had a good adventure. So yeah, that's one thing to be aware of. Why people are saying this might be so short. The other thing, which I'm curious to hear from you, Brad, because I don't know if you even got to use anything but the first starting magic. Is you're stuck with that first basic magic set, the range like rock casting stuff for so long before you get your next power set, and the fact that like. I honestly think, I'm not a game developer, but that approach ultimately I think is the biggest disservice of this game, because when you have all your powers, it feels like a complete game, like a complete tool set. It feels good to play. Up until that part, it doesn't feel that great. It feels and it takes too long to get there.
I think the game itself has the problem of it takes too long to get going.
Yeah.
It
sure.
spends like a lot of time setting things up, which is cool. Like, you know, you got this very story-focused game. It's cool, but when you're an open-world game and there's stuff there when you get it that's really cool, I think it turns a lot of people off from going further.
Especially because social media is 0 to
Yes.
100
Yes.
immediate takes, dude. Because I have seen that take online of like, yo, this game gets there. It gets there. Like, you just gotta wait around a while.
Yeah.
So it's like so many people just like nobody finishes games. So it's like
So the other part to that though is I think they did realize that, but it was maybe too late to fix the up to that point.
Yeah.
They give you so much to do once you get that. So
Sick.
there's no
It's like
narrative.
a grand post situation.
There are chapters. After a certain chapter, you do fight it's like it feels like it's the ending of the game. There's more after that. There's actually a significant amount of stuff, and I won't say what it is or anything, but like they are like, you want to go? Did you miss out on really exploring the open world? Now is the time, and we're giving you some purpose to go do that.
Nice.
All that stuff, it's great to have it then, but that needed to be way earlier.
Yeah,
I think by
so.
like the 10-hour mark at the very least, that's when that needed to happen. It doesn't happen until like roughly the 20-hour mark. It's like that's too long.
That's
man.
too long for
And
most
especially
people.
if you are
Yeah.
claiming it for post finale
it's too
stuff
long.
like this. I think you're doing a disservice. Now, obviously, you can dive into all that stuff, but like. It's like the story is kind of like I wanted like no I want to see like the story like I want to like I was just like doing what I felt I wanted to do, and that's just what happened. Whereas like I don't think it incentivized me enough. Whereas like something like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I feel that sense of like I want to see everything. I like this visual landscape looks so amazing. I just want to see what's up there. Like this is like a world. It's not that this world's like ugly or bad. It's just kind of like not visually striking.
No.
It's just a bunch of large open areas, but like you have the ability to like it's infamous shit basically, Huber.
Yeah,
you can
I
like
definitely
run
thought of it
fast,
as
you can
playing
jump
this.
fast, you can like eventually
movement.
you
This
get
is
like
the slide and
grappling
shit.
abilities.
The first magic thing you have is like it reminded me of Infamous
Yeah.
a lot. The aiming, and it felt like it kind of yeah.
love that shit.
Dummy. I think the point I'm at in the game is I like the combat. I think there's something there. It's fun. I see something there, but I'm like at a point where I'm like I need more first. I need more. So I'm like there's some
agree.
stuff I could do on the map, but I'm just like I need more to the gameplay right now, so I'm just going to do the story stuff.
Dude, that was maybe the biggest miss of the game where it had so much potential. The first major area, you see parts you can't even reach yet, and you're like, dude, it's gonna be like Metroidvania where I gotta get new powers and I could go back to like this is gonna be sick. I'm gonna like be able to climb up there, go back. Like I love this type of shit. It's really only that there is a little bit of that, but like I only felt that in that first zone. After that, I felt like that kind of like fell off. Like it wasn't really being advertised in the game very well or communicated very well in the game, and I never really felt like I needed that. There's like a handful of really optional stuff that you need certain things to reach, but otherwise it wasn't like a core part of the game. It's basically when you beat the first boss and get the fire skill set.
Yeah, I don't have that.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the extent
I was like, I
of
need
your
to get the
traversal.
fire thing. Yeah.
There's one or two other things that are for like very specific things, but they're not essential. But for essential traversal, the fire thing for like whipping things and like grappling, that's the last like essential
That's interesting.
thing.
I thought it would be like, there's like 4 zones or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe there's 4 powers, and every power you get helps you get to the next zone or something.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought like, and then like there might have been something I missed in the previous zone that like I need this. Like, so essentially for red magic, it's like the melee. It's a flame sword. You can also like have a spear, and like you can use it like a dragoon because like you charge it and throw it. Your character will follow up, jump to it.
Cool.
You can like set like a giant like flame like a barrier around you so that like if the enemies are all like weak to fire, they can't come through that barrier because they're gonna get messed up. Yeah, it's like garlic. It's just like garlic. And each of the magics, like once you get them all, you find out all the enemies have resistance and vulnerabilities, and that's when it comes together because sometimes you'll be fighting multiple enemies at different resistances, and it's kind of cool where you need to like, okay, who do I get to prioritize? Oh, here's a big boy. He's gonna be a problem. Let's focus on him first, or maybe I have like a bind spell. I'm gonna use it on the one ad over there. Ignore them for a while. I'm gonna focus on big boy here. Take them down. All right, then the ads or maybe reverse. Like the ads are really quick. Let's just kill them real quick while dodging big boy here, and it's like a nice kind of like loop once you have all those, because otherwise early on it's like I'm just range firing
you only have
rocks
range.
from a distance.
And it's like I like the magic, the earth.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Like Huber, you have like you can get like machine gun shot one that shoots like a bunch of rocks really quick at guys. Or you can like charge up the rock, you get a big one, and throw it, and like sends them flying.
Yeah.
Or you can have like a shield
Shields.
thing where you hit him. If you get hit with it, like
disperses and damages them with spray
and,
damage.
The support abilities, Damiani. So for right now, I have like a thing where vines come up in the ground and tangle
the bind,
guys. Or you have like a flower that comes out and shoots pebbles. So
Yeah,
like
like
if
a
you get
turret,
the if you get the fire one, are there other support
So
spells? For that?
I mean, there's even more for purple. Purple also has you get like a whip, a spinning
'cause
whip.
there's, like,
It's a
talent-
360.
Yeah.
and it will heal for each enemy you hit. It will heal you up as well. Plus, it's a knockback or knockdown. You can get one that like purifies like poison or debuffs on you as well. You can do that. Fire. You can like enhance. You can call out 2 fire clones, like mimics. You can call out mimic tier, and they'll fight with you as well.
Cool.
The fire barrier was one of them. You can also
Shadow
do like
clone.
a giant
Come
like
on now.
fire burst on someone, like set them on fire, so they're vulnerable. Like now they got they're on. So they'll might avoid the flame barrier, but you can still light them on fire. There's also one like the earth one. Also, you can put like rocks around you as a defensive barrier.
Cool.
I think each one gets up to like 6 support abilities, and you have your 3 attack abilities.
Yeah, the magic's really cool. Yeah. Like I think it's really cool. I like the gameplay a lot,
dude.
I think running is really fun in this game too.
It's really
like the traversal thing, like climbing up a wall and her flipping around. It's really cool.
It's really fun, and I think they just needed more of those types of activities. Like later on, there's like these swing challenges where like it's like out in the middle of nowhere. It's like this like rock formation, and you gotta like use your abilities just to get to the top. And like some of them's like you gotta find like these like little like red like stalactite stalagmite looking things to like latch onto them and swing, and then like you're launching out and like wait, where's the next one? And then you gotta like you'll fail probably, like oh it was right there, okay let me go back to the start, do it again. And then there's like also like these flashback challenges. They're scattered. There are many points of interest, Huber, just like any open world.
I saw
one
you
of them's like a
messing
flashback
around.
challenge, is to either defend people for a certain time, kill a certain amount of enemies in a certain amount of time, or reach an objective like a race.
Nice.
And they don't do enough of those.
Dying
like
Light.
there's one that's really
Love
sick that's out
traversal
in the
races.
middle of like a ravine with all these really narrow pillars, and you gotta like find a way across all of them fast enough by using like your leaping, because you get a thing called shimmy with the which lets you, when you like, hit X as you land, it kind of like bounds you to keep your momentum going
That's
a little bit,
cool.
and it recharges your stamina as well. So using all your flow abilities uses your stamina, so you can't use it infinitely. Eventually, you can get to a point where like you never have to worry about stamina again. Not only can you keep recharging it through like execution abilities, there's those books in those inns that you can do challenges, and when you complete them, it enhances each individual skill in your skill tree.
Dopamine.
All the traversal ones you can set to either no stamina use or minimal one. For example, there is a 2 of the cooler ones you get later is you can surf across water.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But you only have so much stamina, and eventually you can like do that to the cost none. Then there's one where you basically freaking create like a water bed underneath you that lets you like glide like Breath of the Wild style across the world.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And you can like triple its length basically if you increase those. And then like the lightning ability, you get like a thing where you hold down a button, I think it's triangle, you charge up with this green flash, and you like just flip upwards doing these flip kicks. You go like 4 of them in a row and go really high.
That's cool.
And then like if you have like the water, when you get to your apex, you can like hold water and then like glide, so you can like create height and then go across. Because there are some gaps. I'm like, how do I have to grapple? But there's no way I can't even reach it.
that, yeah.
How do I get over there? I'm like, oh, you gotta.
That's fun.
Using those in conjunction, like there's just not enough of that
there's
stuff.
not enough.
Yeah.
Damiani, though, you haven't talked about the perceived cringy dialogue.
Well, hold on. Before we get into that, though, one thing
really wanna
I
hear
did
about
see
that.
in the world while we're on this topic is I went into like a dungeon, I guess.
Yeah,
and
the
there
labyrinths.
was like it was very basic when I went through. It was just running through, and there's like some boss fights. So there's like a kind of a cool boss fight. There's like a serpent in the water. And
Yeah,
there's,
that's the
like, fighting
first
in there,
one
and
you
it's
can
like, all
do.
right, that's cool. Something a little.
Dude,
Was that optional or no?
Yeah.
It's 100% optional.
Cool.
They're basically challenge dungeons where you got to fight like rooms of enemies and then a boss. They get more elaborate in terms of like you can go multiple ways and one way will be a wrong way. It's not the end of the world. Like it's just like it's like, oh, there's maybe a chest there, but you got to go back.
Yeah.
The bosses get more elaborate though.
Cool.
There's like a handful of variations, but then they start throwing more than one boss at you, and it gets kind of
fun.
So one of them got really crazy. There's clearly a final one that was like insane. I was like, okay, what the hell am I fighting here? They're just fun. Like they have like cloak rewards, which is cool because only gear you have in this game is your cloaks and your necklaces. And each one, kind of like where you find them, has like an affinity to each region. So like the first region you find them, they're doing like the purple magic enhancements.
Yeah.
Then you might find one
nice.
in another region that has like blue magic enhancements. And then like you get even better ones. And then they have slots where you can go to the crafting table and upgrade, giving them like you have a better chance of critting. Or if you use, the more you use your defensive blocks, the more like you have an ultimate attack for each magic. For a purple, it's like wood style jutsu. You do like earth style jutsu with the fucking tree going out and it hits people. And you can enhance
cool.
those too, but like you can like make those charge up faster. There's a little bit to like thinking about it, but like it's not.
Are there difficulties?
Yes.
Yeah, there are.
How many?
Like
Like easy, normal, hard?
I think there's like 4.
Nice.
There's
yeah, there's.
Can you switch anytime though?
Yes,
It doesn't
it's,
matter?
there's no
Yeah,
trophies
yeah,
tied
yeah,
to like, yeah, you don't have to play.
Always
the whole
like
game
when there's a
through it.
reward. Thank you, Dead Space.
But yeah, like the activities here out in the world, it's like find a monument. It gives you like a permanent stat increase. There's like a stealth thing where you get sneak up on like fantasy looking cats called familiars. And I mean, it's a one-trick pony. Once you do one, like it's easy to do the others. Like you just gotta like time it right to approach them. You pet them. They show up at all the inns. They're doing like fun little things.
Pander.
Yeah.
Do it.
There's a lot of Damiani Pander in this
Do
game.
it.
Yeah.
Homer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put cats in your game.
They have
dude.
like a Batman
Do
section, sort of Batman, where you have like your vision thing where you go to like an abandoned ruins. You gotta like flash the pulse. And it'll just
Witcher
show you.
sense.
It'll just show you where it is, but like you gotta find like loot like these like chests to have like pieces of lore, like either a painting maybe or like a box with a letter.
Good lore.
And you get more story about the region.
Did you read them
they're
all?
optional, so you can just like.
Do you read them all, Dom?
I did because like I wanted like one of the biggest mysteries of this game is this world went to hell.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Don't spoil the story. I'm very intrigued by the story.
This is the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Beautiful world. Everyone loved it. Like everyone lived in all these different regions. Then all of a sudden, this mysterious miasma shows up, fucking wrecks everything. People have to retreat back to the capital. It's super dangerous to go out, and then people live in fear. And there are these 4 leaders, these women who are these like were viewed as like deities because they were like so powerful. They just kind of like vanish, or the ones that remain are like psychopaths now. And you're like, why did they turn this way?
Yeah.
And so you get these lore things
About them?
will give you. You'll get an answer once you confront them.
Yeah.
But you get even more insight into their personality and shit. And it's
Need
like,
that.
ooh, good stuff.
Need that
and
stuff.
side characters. There are not that many side characters in this game, and like you get lore, but like I think they're okay enough on the surface. But if you want like the deep meaning behind them, you get like this lore, and like it's fucked up and sad.
Yeah.
Like it's like not. What happened in the world is not happy, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see like some sad shit that went down.
Good.
Yeah, let's
That's
talk-
all the criticism of this game is like things I love. It's like, oh, it's like too serious and like it takes too long to get there, and it's like, yo, that's music to my ears.
I
Like,
can't-
let me settle into a serious game, please.
I can't even tell you what the. I mean, one of the main themes of this game is death and loss, but I can't even tell you what the other main theme is because it's a spoiler.
Got it.
But it is like a theme that's not done in a lot of games, and I think it's really good.
Hell yeah.
And it's very emotional.
Hell yeah.
Let's talk about the writing.
Cringy dialogue.
The dialogue.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I want to clarify
Give
what
it
my
to
problem
us.
is with the dialogue. My problem with the dialogue is the repetitive nature of the basic banter between Cuff and
Yeah.
Frey.
That's
And
the
you-
worst.
So you could turn it down, but here's the specific examples. It's not even like their banter when they're moving around. It's when you complete certain objectives. For an example, all those flashback points I was telling you about, when you approach them for the first time, you don't know what it is. And Frey goes to Cuff, "What do you think this is?" He goes, "I'm not really sure. Let's be careful," or something. And then like it like does the flashback effect where you get teleported back to the past or something to do the challenge. Every single one of those, they do the exact same thing. She goes, "What is this? I don't know." And I'm like, "Dude, we've done 30 of these. Why do you keep saying that?" So I was like, "No, why? Just one other phrase or
Damn
something
it.
would have been like." It just took me out of it.
Yeah.
And then there are these puzzle treasure boxes where you gotta like move around like there's 2 points you gotta connect to make like the line, like the energy fill to the other side.
Yeah.
It's sliding like block puzzle. You can spend coins to auto solve it, or mana. You earn mana from almost everything. You can spend it to auto solve, or you can just do it. The first when I finally did a hard one, the dialogue said, Frey was like, "Oh wow, my brain hurts after that." I'm like, "Dude, does it react to how long you took to do them or something?"
Love that.
Then one of them I solved really quickly. She goes, "I think my brain just melted." I was like, "God damn it, no!" It's just at least I had like 5 or 6 different lines, but they were mismatched to what I was doing.
Got it.
So just a little bit more of matching up and variety to the basic color commentary on like basic remedial activities it felt like stuck in an older era where like they really spent no time on that. That was very off-putting to me.
That makes
where I was
sense.
like, dude, this just sucks. Like it's like that part to me is laughable. It's like this is like you're touting your tech. This is very like this is a very glaring
2
problem.
generations ago.
Yeah,
Like,
no. What everyone else is talking about online is like Frey's kind of reactions to stuff and like why is she saying that shit? Like why does it sound so out of place? So like the first one, like the first instance people might point out is when she arrives in the Athia and she uses her powers to fight the first little like wolf dog enemy. She's like, "Oh shit, did I just do that?" Like she like starts popping off. And it's like, oh, so people are like, why are you saying that? And then there are people like, that's how I would react. Like to me, some of it does come down to your viewpoint on how you've experienced life and how you've it's a little bit of that, but then there are times where it's trying to be funny a little too often, and it's like it can feel slightly out of place. I don't think it's like, I never thought it was like cringy. I'm like, that might not have been the best moment to try and crack a joke there.
Because I do know it's a very serious game, and like we were talking about that, Brad, when you're a very serious game and you start throwing in those quips.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous game to play.
When I was playing it, dude, like from the time I was playing it, I was telling Chad, I'm like, this seems like shit I would just hear in like any normal like Marvel movie or something.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I think when they started writing this game, people had a different outlook on Marvel right now.
Absolutely.
Everyone has turned against it. Everyone
now.
has turned against it now.
Finally.
But when they started writing this game, I think they were like, all right, we're chill.
Yeah.
It came out at a bad time.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like Frey in that regard. She does have character development, but in terms of like the banter, certain parts of it evolve, but not enough of it evolves, I feel like.
I would say so. She's still like kind of like saying stuff like that people don't understand. And I'm like, you've been in this world for a little bit now. You got to know that these people are not going to know what you're talking about. Like a lot of times she'll say terms that people won't understand.
They try and do a lot of
They
jokes
do
with
that a lot.
Now, it does slightly pay off later because like your companion, your cuff companion catches on eventually. So whenever he hears a Terminator, he goes, "Oh, haha, an Earth joke, right?" So like he starts picking up on it and like even starts to like learn to play along with it.
Cool.
So there's a little bit of evolution there, but like that joke of I said something you don't understand, like you would normally do that, but I think some of them are a little too referential. It's like that seemed a little bit too much of a callback to like you're trying to call out something. Like I can understand you saying it would have been better if it was normal expressions you said. And everyday expressions are like, what does that mean? Like, so for example, she does use profanity, and she has to explain. Like, she calls it like the shit break or whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't know, like, they don't understand what, they don't. I think they don't know what shit is. So like, so the NPC girl's like, so the shit break. Like, let's just call it the break. It's like, okay, that part was like, because they don't know profanity. So like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a kid not knowing a word using it. Like
and
that one worked, but some don't.
It's hard for me to say too, because like I'm still very early in the game, see how it evolves.
Yeah.
I just think, and I could see this happening to many people, especially streamers, dude, who play this game.
Oh, yeah.
And the game does not start probably at a pace that people want.
There is always an underlying pressure on a stream for things to keep going and moving. Absolutely.
Like
and
I
it's
could
like when you
see
boot
a lot
up
of people
this
playing
huge,
this game and we're like,
let's get
well,
it going.
I just want to play the game kind
Yeah.
of thing like that. And it definitely takes a while.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, I'm pretty glad I didn't have to stream this game. I think it would have maybe slightly changed the experience a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think it's getting more hate than it probably should at this time, in my opinion, of the game.
Because you can just rip any of those little quips straight out of context and be like, ha ha ha.
Well, it came out at a really weird time. I mean, it's getting compared to Hi-Fi Rush who I think honestly does the writing better. The style, because we've talked about why we think why and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
It's a $70 game still, too.
Yeah.
And people have a much harder time giving a game that I think is at this level quality a shot.
Yeah.
You know, because, like, to me, we're swimming, 8s, area, that kind of area. Sure. I could see, like, for me, I'm swimming right now.
Yeah.
Most people aren't willing to spend full price for a game like
swim,
that.
yeah.
The biggest
For a new IP, though, that's sick.
even if this game didn't have the dialogue controversy that has been going on, the price point would have dominated the conversation.
Yes.
That like this is $70 for this. Like people would be like, oh, even if you say it's an 8, I'm gonna bump it down to a 7 because they're charging $10 more. Like to me, like I gotta be harsher.
Especially
Consumers are
when
like, I'm gonna
Hi-Fi
be
Rush has just come out and it was
$30.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Game Pass. It's just
No,
like,
whole Game
I
Pass
saw a,
thing
lot
with
of people,
prices,
a lot
yeah.
of people saying like, oh, I'll play it when it comes to the PlayStation Plus or something.
I do see the
Yeah.
narrative.
Or I saw like people like, yo, get it on a sale.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Besides
Yeah.
the sale, I've seen a narrative now that people are like expecting Forspoken to go to like Square Enix to get a panic and put it on like PlayStation Plus
Yes.
as soon as they can. So people are like, yeah, I'm gonna play it then and try it out then because it's like probably not like living up to sales expectations. We'll find out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing is like, yeah, a game has a lot of improvement to have.
Yeah.
I just think that
There's something there.
Once it gets to what it's trying to do, it's like this. If they could have gotten here sooner, I think this would have gone down a lot better. But like when it gets there, it's actually really
Yeah,
good.
I believe it.
And there's so much more potential. I think it's like they're trying out a bunch of different stuff, and some works and some doesn't. Being able to take that feedback, and as I said, that was my conclusion of my review, is like if they could like refine and focus a little bit on like what really works, and translate that into like maybe a second effort. I think a follow up to this, if they learn their lessons, could actually be really freaking good.
Yeah.
Because we need like it's been a long time since an Infamous like style like magic.
So I always get so depressed when things like this get bombed,
Yeah.
Damiani, because it's like you said, they're trying things. Some work, some don't. It's the nature of like making a new IP, a brand new game. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
and
a
then people
challenge.
just like dunk on it, and it's like, all right, no sequel. Sorry,
I will say
what could have been, but
Yeah.
like we're just gonna point and laugh at like one little thing.
I will say the opening, the first chapter is like walking around New York City. I really was like, man, can I just get a Final Fantasy set like in New York City, like the real world? Like if I had all these powers running around like a major city in modern
Yeah.
world, like this
Prototype.
is. I was like,
Infamous.
yeah, but like,
Love
yeah, like you have that, but like leaning,
been a while.
leaning a little bit more heavily into even like fantasy and like goof, like this type of like fantasy.
Just gonna
Not
have
like
to settle
Western,
for
but like like Jap. Yeah,
you're just gonna have to settle for quadratum,
what?
quadrat. Kingdom Hearts 4, Kingdom Hearts 4.
Oh,
Quadratum.
I mean,
yeah, that's all you get.
I don't think it's going to be like that.
I don't know. I mean, like, because you have Spider-Man swinging around New York. Like, imagine, like, yeah, running across the rooftop. It's like, I mean, yeah, we had it in Infamous and a prototype. was
Yeah,
the
it's
other
been a
one.
while, though.
But like these types of spells, like she can swing, so like swinging, like using the water thing to glide, like gliding across, like a giant city. Like being able to go like maybe into like some of those like labyrinths where like I'm going into a building, all of a sudden like it transforms inside. It's all like weird and like deformed.
Some
and
of the
shit.
stuff
like,
I love in Horizon is like going to an old ruined building like that. It's always sweet.
Yeah.
like doing like I mean, sorry to bring up Marvel, like going into a building, they Doctor Strange it, where like it's all like weirded, like tessellated and stuff. It's like, yo, what's going on? It's like, like cool. I don't know. There's like cool possibilities there. But as it stands, like I think, yeah, the biggest things they need to do is like get to the point faster next one. Get that combat system going way faster too. And maybe spend a little bit more time on like the environments. I know their tech is really good, but there's still
I don't think the lighting's very good in this game.
there's so the PlayStation version has a problem with the lighting.
Okay.
There's supposed to be like ambient lighting depending on situations, and it glitches out sometimes where it's not right.
It looked very dark for me at some spots.
And it will go like sunlight, like daytime.
And then it was like insane bloom almost,
Yeah,
like Wind Waker on steroids.
It's not right. Like the
Yeah, it was
the
kind of
tech-
like weird.
Digital
I don't know.
Foundry and some other people broke it down and said like there's definitely something wrong with the ambient
Yeah.
lighting tech going on there. It's not right. And like because on PC when you can get it running right, it does it correctly and it
Okay.
looks way better.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe working on the lighting tech a little bit, especially for consoles, but like just adding a little bit more to the world. I think both like in terms of like visually appealing and maybe like a little bit more focus on like traversal challenges. The traversal challenges are like going to be the bread and butter if they do this again.
Yeah, I think so.
I've been going through that shit in Dying Light too.
That sounds fun.
Traversing, like running. And
Yeah.
It's like if you fall, you're dead because there's 100 zombies down there. It's so cool.
The champ wrote in, "Hey allies, I was wondering, in your opinion, what makes a good open world game? Lots of people are hard on Forspoken for being empty, checklists, etc. I personally haven't played it outside of the demo, but what separates Forspoken from Assassin's Creed, Zelda, Xenoblades, Witchers, etc., etc.? Maybe your people are just tired of open world games." So I haven't played enough of Forspoken to be a judge of this, but I think the idea of an open world is you should make it where you want to go explore it. You need to give reasons to explore. It needs to be interesting to traverse on its own.
Yes.
I think of Breath of the Wild in the sense of just going through that world is a huge part of the gameplay. Yeah. Just moving forward and figuring out how to do it. And you have to have cool stuff where you're like, shit, I gotta check that out. That looks sick.
On the other end, dude, Witcher 3 is like, this is not only a world I want to explore, but every area has a story to it.
Yes.
You'll go to this area.
This region, there's a crazy side quest
there's
tied
some
to it.
freako at this well over there. Go figure that out.
Yeah.
Just like really cool things to investigate and discover.
Yeah, it definitely, that stuff I think makes a good one as well. We were just said it earlier, like it compared to like something for me like Xenoblade Chronicles, where like the environments are like feel very handcrafted.
Yeah.
So by just looking at things like, I just want to see what that. There's a waterfall over here. I don't even get to that spot. Like they needed a little bit more of that for sure. I don't mind like the checklist type of stuff as long as the activities are like, give good rewards, or like this one, like it can give you lore, it can give you something useful, but some of them do feel a little bit throwaway. And like as I started to see more of those, like those aren't really a high priority as maybe some of these other ones are. But I think maybe like the hardest pill to swallow for this is its first major region is like looks like Red Dead Zone, like American Southwest.
Well, it just reminds me of Sonic Frontiers, dude. Just like big and barren and open, and you're running around, and the running around it is cool, but there's not much to look at.
But like it would be better if like the environment like looked like more fantasy or unique, and the first zone just looks like it literally looks like a desert in the American Southwest.
It's not very like striking.
It's like you could have done this maybe later. This sort of happens in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. The second major zone is kind of like this too, where it is like feels like a southwestern desert, but like American Southwest desert. But then within that zone, they start doing a few interesting. Like the opening part was a little bit like, okay, this is maybe my least favorite zone, and then all of a sudden like you go up this one little area, like then it's like white sands. I'm like, whoa, what is this? And then then there begins like a cavern system. Like, okay, like you're giving me some intriguing stuff. There really isn't comparable stuff like that. It's the landmarks that like are trying to. They have like these huge arching like structures that you can actually run across. That like was kind of cool. Like, am I gonna fall off of this? Can I even get up there? Just not enough of that type of stuff. Yeah. So it's like when you're like the Green Hill Zone. It's like, oh shit, it's just a wide open zone I could just run across really fast, and there I will come across like landmarks every so often, but like it wasn't until I got to the coast where it's like, yo, what are these rock formations down there? And they're like, those were where some of the platforming challenges were. Or I came to like a lake. I'm like, whoa, what's this lake? I went across it. Like, what's up this canyon area, up this ravine? And like, oh shit, there's like this secret, like really narrow path that like went to this crazy area. And I'm like, then I was like, I got to a spot where like, am I even supposed to go over there? Like,
is this for a main quest later?
Well, there's parts of the world where it's like you fall, like it's gonna reset you. It's like off out of bounds.
Got it.
But there was something that was clearly an objective, but like what looked in front of it, like that's out of bounds. How I looked at the map and I was like, I do like the map interface in this game. You could like go meta world, like see like all the zones. You can go into like seeing everything. You could filter everything, but then you could go to like a more like 3D view where it shows you the terrain as is. Like you understand the topography.
Freaking Avatar.
I love shit like that. But like, I was like, dude, how do I get? I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to wait for guides to come out. But thankfully, I figured out how to get there.
Nice.
I was like, felt very rewarding to do that. You just needed more of that shit in general. So like to me, like this game is like, I feel like it is like honestly the like where it should have averaged is like a 7, like swimming in 7s and stuff. Like, I mean, people are like it got like I can see people giving it 6s, but like on the obviously everyone's got an opinion, but like for me, I always saw like the very lowest scores. Like I don't understand how this game's a 4, but yeah, that's you. But at the same time, I didn't see people giving it 9s. I'm like, it's not that good. It's like I don't think it's deserving of a 9.
Seems like a 7 or 8.
Yeah, it's just where like I felt it fell. And yeah, I just think you were right, Huber, with your people latch on to something and that becomes the discourse for the game.
It's really really bums me out.
Just eventually people who give it a fair shake will probably see that like it wasn't that bad of a game, but like by then it's like cool that like that's the damage might have already been done.
Yeah.
I saw people talking about who were like, I can't wait for a year or 2 years from now when people look back and say Forspoken is an underrated game or something like that.
100%. It's due. It'll have its days gone moment.
I just think, Huber,
yeah,
running through those fields. I know there's sometimes you feel like empty, but like that motion, like Sonic, I think doesn't feel. I don't know. When I run around in Sonic, it doesn't feel as good as when I was running around as Frey for whatever reason.
That's high praise.
Frey has there's more verticality, I guess.
Yeah, Sonic is
she's
just
hopping
go fast.
over shit.
Yeah.
It has the Assassin's Creed thing, Huber, where you can just hold down sprint and she'll hop over stuff
Love
automatically.
Totally.
Yeah, but it like even I said like that shimmy ability, you're on hills, it's like you got to find a rhythm and a timing. It's just the simple things that they add on that you're still engaging and it's just auto running. It's like this. It's fun.
To one last comparison with the question with the open worlds, comparing what we were talking about, Witcher and Breath of the Wild and Forspoken and stuff, to Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is just too big, so you lose the stories. There's just so many little dumb stories that they all just get jumbled. It's like, dude, I don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even care because you've told me 50 stories amidst the big story.
Yeah.
And then exploration isn't even rewarding because you're just a god in that game. No matter what difficulty you play on, you're just OP. So it's like, okay, I went into this cool little dungeon and found an axe, but it's like I don't even need that axe.
But it's sometimes they go too hard on the same objectives. Like, how many churches did you burn in
Yeah.
How many of those battles were in Odyssey? Where it's just too much, man.
Yeah.
Got a question from Fat J. We talked about this a little, but we'll just reiterate.
Fat J.
Yes. Hey, allies. Over the weekend, it seems that writing styles has become a topic on Twitter, especially between Forspoken and Hi-Fi Rush. Basically, some people are arguing that both games have similar writing styles, and yet Hi-Fi Rush gets praised while Forspoken gets bashed. While I would like to disagree that both games have similar writing styles, I have only seen clips of Forspoken, so I can't really comment on the game. Which leads me to asking, I would like to ask the panel, what are your thoughts on both games' writing?
Brad, you nailed it.
So we talked about
You crushed it. You said because of the look and the style of
it's the
versus the super
look
serious
and the tone of the game.
Exactly. You really nailed that because Forspoken, if it's a serious game, I could see that being jarring.
I don't think games having jokes, games writing jokes aren't necessarily the same. There's qualities of everything, and they're different.
Think about Leon's quips.
Yes, I think
just enough
at the moment with Hi-Fi Rush's tone and character movement. I think the physical comedy is a great point to Huber. I think it's just better at what it does right now.
Yeah.
I don't know later on. Super early in Forspoken, so I will see as things continue. But I just think Hi-Fi Rush is honestly probably just more appealing to people too, and it's how it does things.
Yeah. Yeah, the quips and stuff, I really feel like this is a perfect moment when this is all really happening because it's Phase 4 of the MCU has started that turn of everyone where it's like, stop quipping, everybody. Please stop quipping. If you're not going to take it seriously, why are we going to take it serious? So it's just this perfect point of everything converging.
Yeah, I guess Hi-Fi Rush, I don't take the story seriously.
Exactly.
At least right now,
playful.
I don't.
Yeah.
We're still early, but yeah.
Totally.
Huber, final game. So you've been talking about how you're not really in the mood for gaming. You've been craving this game. You've been going through, kind of through the winter season, just craving specific games.
Yes.
It was Dragon Quest VIII.
Yeah.
But now it's Darkest Dungeon. You've returned to the pit.
I have returned to the pit. I have returned to the hamlet, the chat estate. We have named it.
Yes.
I I played this game a while ago when it came out, and I streamed a little bit of it, like the tail end kind of, I remember back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Got to the darkest dungeon, fully wiped my team, and never played again because it is so demoralizing. It is so punishing. This is one of the hardest, most difficult games you could ever play, is Darkest Dungeon. Uncompromising, unforgiving, it will make you suffer.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And
well, explain what you do in this
absolutely,
game. What's
yeah.
the loop?
So the loop, you are at this hamlet, and you just go on runs through certain dungeons. There's the Warrens, there's the Cove, there's the Ruins. In the very end, there's the darkest dungeon, but you have to be like
high level.
Level 6
good gear.
is the max, so you're level 6 characters with good gear. You don't even want to attempt it, or you are going to die. And once your characters die, they're gone. They're gone. And like, you really need to invest in these characters. Every level up is a big deal. It takes time. You know, it's pretty hard to power level. So you invest in these people, and I've named everyone. You know, we lost Brad. I died. Damiani's still going strong. Shield Breaker Damiani, thriving. And so it's such a perfect stream game. We were talking about Forspoken maybe not being geared towards streaming because you're like, let's go.
Yeah.
This game is seriously made for streaming because like just the loop
I'd say
is
so.
the loop is you're in the hamlet. At the hamlet, you can use your resources to level up buildings, which then offer more services, cheaper services, more powerful services. And then you can also gear your team with weapons and armor, just like levels, you know? There's not like you're finding all this gear. For that, it's just trinkets. So like every character just has like their weapon and their armor, tiers to level up, basic, but then heirlooms, which are like, then you can start really like fiddling with your characters. And then like abilities, you know, every character has their abilities you can level up. So there's just a lot going on.
Yes.
You get to the hamlet, you just chill. That's when I can talk to chat a bunch, you know, just these nice little breaks. Safety. Then you go into a dungeon, and it is so stressful, but it's like just, you know, I'm always mood-based with my gaming, and for whatever reason, like, you know, maybe just coming off of Dragon Quest VIII, just craving those white knuckle, edge of your seat battles where every single battle is life or death, high stakes, meaningful. When you win, it is euphoric. When you die, you are devastated and want to rage quit. but not really. And it's just the battle system. It's just turn-based, 4 in a line, your team of 4. Positioning is everything, you know, where they are. And all hell can just break loose like that. Like, you can just, everything can just fall apart. So it's just so intense.
Right. And you've been playing with the DLC, right?
The DLC is active, which is making the early game way harder.
Oh.
Which is unfortunate. That's what chat said too. They're like, dude, the game's gonna be harder for a while because like that stuff's designed for late game. It's like, whatever, just throw it on. So I'm like taking some like DLC penalties, you know, like stress is kind of higher. You know, your characters get stressed out, Damiani. There's like 2 main things you got to watch for: health and stress level.
Stress levels.
Enemies will attack you for health, or enemies will attack your stress.
Mental damage.
Mental damage. When that stress goes up, it's hard to bring it down. And if it goes high enough, your characters will most likely, it's like a meter, it fills up twice. If it fills up that first time, there's a chance your character will just freak out.
Panic, yeah.
Dude, they will be irrational. They will be paranoid. It gets so bad, Damiani, that like they get paranoid. You'll try to heal them and like, what are you doing? Don't. And they won't allow you to heal them. There's like so much nuance, so much depth in this game. It is masterful. I think like 5 people made this game. I think like 15 or 20 are making number 2. And just 2 coming out made me want to go back in and finish the fight. Mm-hmm. You know, we just beat Dragon Quest VIII. Like, I want to finish this game for once, because...
Well, maybe a little less forgiving than 8. Like, it sounds like if you wipe out the dungeon, the darkest dungeon, you got to start over.
yes, there are slight remedies for
Yeah, I was
this.
gonna say, what's like the safety net?
So the safety net, you have your roster, 20 plus characters, can get a little overwhelming to manage all these characters.
Yeah, I assume.
I try to compartmentalize. I try to just see what dungeon runs I can go on, who's going to go on it, and then I just think about the 4 that are going on one at a time. Because if you start thinking about everyone
on your roster,
you start thinking about all these heirlooms, you start thinking about like locking in quirks and stuff. There are just some things, I will admit, just a few systems where I'm like, I just don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I will take being inefficient to just allow myself to be a little less stressed out and just have more fun. Because if I just start like getting all aggro with like min-max this, get this, lock, like it's too much. So yeah. So
going.
the safety net is you have your stagecoach, and that brings in new recruits.
Gotcha.
You can level that up to the point where when it's like fully maxed out, sometimes level 3 recruits will just be in there instead of 0.
Sick.
6 is the max. So it can be to a point where, all right, you wipe, but at least you can get some level 3s in there. And then by that time too, all your like facilities will be leveled up. So like you can level those level 3 characters up. You can gear them up. So it makes it a little easier, but it is still absolutely devastating when you take a loss in this game. I mean, Fire Emblem, right, is devastating because of like narrative purposes, right? You lose someone, like you're going to lose out on that. This is just devastating because it's like time, investment, commitment. Like this, again, this is definitely one of the hardest games I've ever played.
How long does a loop take again?
So there's short, medium, and long dungeons.
Okay.
I'm glad you asked this, Damiani. A short one, 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
Is that quick? Yeah.
That's very quick.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Quick,
I was thinking like FTL.
Yeah.
you
So like
know,
10, 15.
Hour, 2 hours.
Yeah. Medium, like maybe 15 to like 20, 25. And then a long one will take you like probably at least a half hour.
Okay.
But the best on the medium and the long ones, you can camp. So you get like bundles of wood. On a medium one, you get 1. On a long one, you get 2. And you pop that, and your characters camp. And there's camping spells that use like its own currency when you're camping. It's like you get like 12 ticks of this or whatever, and like each of those skills costs money or whatever. The camping skills you can use to like, all right, for the next 4 battles, everyone's going to take less stress. Or like, I'm going to heal you, I'm going to de-stress you, I'm going to buff you, more accuracy, more damage. Like the combat system, Damiani, you were talking about Fire Emblem like earlier. And just about like the tactics and, we're talking about 3 houses and that old school.
Yeah.
Like just the battle system in this, dude. Every fight is so thoughtful. It's like, what move am I going to use, dude? Am I going to focus on you? Am I gonna eliminate you first? Am I gonna go for a stun instead of maybe like damage to try to just kill it outright? Am I gonna heal? It's just there's so much to think about, but it's also really snappy because everyone can just have like 4 moves equipped at a time. There's 4 party members, So
Yep.
just the best. I just want to hype it up.
Yeah.
And if you find it interesting, check out our streams. I do very late night Darkest Dungeon streams on twitch.tv/EasyAllies. Come on in.
Are they archived too?
They are archived.
On our
Bloodworth
YouTube?
did some
Easy Allies
work
Plays.
there. Easy Allies Plays.
Yeah.
It's late night and it's such a demanding game that sometimes I do just zone out for a while and like don't speak as much as normally because like it does, like the second I stop paying attention, like it all falls apart.
Yeah.
So,
Darkest Dungeon is a really cool game.
really,
Probably pretty cheap
really
nowadays too
cool.
if you're curious about it.
It's relevant. Game Pass this month.
Oh, it's on Game Pass?
Yes.
There you go.
It's so relevant too.
I
It was
think-
so funny. That's so funny. Yeah.
I hope it's on PC. The mouse seems
It
like
is.
the best way to play this game.
Yes, I got it back in the day just on console. My PC was shit at the time.
It's
even though
fine. You can play it on console, but I
Yeah.
think with a mouse it'd probably
Yeah.
be better. It seems
Yeah.
like it's designed for that more. But yeah,
snappier, a little easier.
good
And then
stuff.
2's coming out, and it's going to be way different.
Yep.
Which
Okay.
I respect.
Yep.
I really like that they're taking a big risk with 2. 1 is you're in the hamlet, you go in a dungeon, you come back, level up, do your shit, go again, come back, go again. 2 is less characters going on a road trip.
Oh.
You are journeying in the
Oregon
wagon.
Trail.
Yeah, Oregon Trail vibe, shit going down. I think those runs in 2 are actually longer because like, when you die or whatever, it's like it matters more.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So,
Cool.
good shit. Darkest Dungeon. Shout out.
Shout out. All right, it is time for some emails. If you would like to send in an email to us, go ahead.
Can't talk about Darkest Dungeon without shouting out to the narrator. Best in the biz.
Oh, you didn't say that, right?
No.
The narrator really sells that game hard.
Best in the biz.
Yeah.
Makes the game.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, emails. If you would like to send an email, join us on patreon.com/easyallies. Just got to be $5 and up. You can submit questions to this podcast, the Easy Allies podcast, and you can join our Discord if you would like to. It's super jolly over there. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's...
You think Damiani would like Darkest Dungeon combat, Brad? Tactical, dude. Intense.
Maybe, yeah. I don't see why not. Maybe it's turn-based tactical combat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see Damiani liking it.
I'm intrigued by that, actually.
All right.
Not a lot of ways to cheese, Damiani. They will cheese you.
First question is from James Davey. Hey, Brad, Huber, and Damiani. I recently discovered how good Neon White is, and I feel though it's overshadowed because it's an indie title. Do you feel like indie games will ever be considered GOTY material, even though they tend to have far more interesting ideas than AAA a lot? This game got nominated for the Game Awards or something.
Yeah.
And
I think just best indie.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And
Hades won a lot of GOTYs.
wasn't Stray.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
Journey
Hades
won some
did.
GOTYs.
Yeah, I think
Journey,
Indie's been getting more respect.
Hollow Knight.
On Hollow Knight.
Hollow
yeah.
Knight.
Yeah, was
Have you heard me talk about Rogue Legacy 2 by chance?
Yeah.
And Stray?
Vampire Survivors.
Vampire Survivors?
like,
Stray was nominated for
Sifu.
GOTY. I think they've been getting more respect.
I think
than
that
ever.
might be. We might just answer the question. It's not it's going to be shouted by AAA. It's
Yeah.
just more better indie games coming out, so it's harder to stand out. And even
It
if
is.
you are good, competition is fierce.
Yes, and I feel like AAAs are designed for mass appeal. Most often.
Sure.
More than it. Like
Because they're expensive, they gotta make money.
Like, as Darkest Dungeon, honestly, I'd give it a 10. Honestly, I think it is one of the best indie games ever made. But, like, that game can only be so big and popular because nobody wants to go through that pain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, indie games are...
They can take some more chances.
They take chances and they appeal to, like, a specific
audience.
thing, an audience usually,
Yeah.
whereas AAA is just like, yo, open world, go, free, everyone likes that. Like, so I think that is a huge part.
Yeah, I'd say. I think indie games are getting more recognition as time has gone on.
Hades 2, GOTY watch.
Hades 2, GOTY watch.
Early access this year, so probably next.
Probably next year.
Yeah.
Next question is from Gabriel Roy. Hey guys, this rash of remakes has me a little worried. While for the most part they all seem to have been pretty incredible technical achievements, and while some LoL, RE2 remake, and FF7 remake have been interesting experiments in adaptation, more recent efforts like Dead Space and The Last of Us Part 1 have been one-to-one for the most part and seem a little creatively bankrupt to me. Full disclosure, I haven't played those two yet, but my understanding is they don't change anything of substance from the original games. Shouldn't we be asking for a little more than the same but prettier from these super expensive AAA games?
One change is, we talked about Dead Space, so I hope that answered your question in that
Dead Space
discussion.
does.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very favorable, but they change things.
Yeah.
It's
They make
not,
it a better
It's not
game.
like Final Fantasy VII Remake,
No.
like they said, or Resident Evil 2 Remake necessarily.
Totally. But then, on the flip side,
Yes.
Last of Us Part 1
Is
such a weird case.
is pretty much the same exact thing.
Yeah. AI a little better. Visuals obviously way better.
Yeah.
Different, though. I still like the way the original
Sure,
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I could see the argument of creatively bankrupt in the sense that we do get a lot of remakes now. It
Yeah,
seems like
but-
a trend right now, which I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing at this moment because we're still getting a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
Still,
There's
things are
more
still
than
coming
ever.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting new IPs, AAA and indies.
Yeah.
We're getting sequels, AAA
And if
and indies.
anything,
Remakes.
some of these remakes could be second chances for these series. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
depending on this, how Dead Space does,
Yeah.
this will set the future of the series.
I also see a lot of companies just investing in these teams and departments that are tasked with bringing back legacy games because it's kind of like it's a stable flow.
Yeah.
It's something that's like kind of a safe bet for the most part. It's games that like they know will probably sell or will be low cost, so it's low risk. I almost treat it like a when you're doing investment stuff, like when you buy bonds. Bonds are like the safest thing. Like you want to you keep your money safe.
Yeah.
That's like
Do they even have? I think those still exist.
I think so, yeah. But video games now, it's like that. It's like that's their thing. It's like we're gonna keep making all these games, like Brad said, but like we need a little bit of safety net. So like Why don't we just have like a remake remaster department? Like Square's been doing it, Nintendo's been doing it, like Sony's been doing it, like everyone's been doing it. And it's just, I don't think it's taking away from anything right now.
Right.
It's just an extra thing they're investing in and expanding to provide more stability.
And with Dead Space, I'm always down with this. The devs wanted to do it. They pitched that shit to EA proper, the business suits. They were like, we want to make this. We want to do this. So shout out to that, just letting them do what they want to do.
This next one is from Alexander Zirianov. Hello, allies. What inconsistencies in video game environments bother you the most? Personally, I lose immersion each time I enter some long-forgotten underground structure that is lit by the sun coming through massive gaps in the ceiling. And this especially annoys me if I can reach the same place on the surface to discover completely solid ground without any cave-ins. Yeah, that's funny.
Very nice.
I always
very
think
nice.
of sometimes you go somewhere super secret or whatever, or that hasn't been explored a long time, and there's just torches lit or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Where there's
Good
like
one.
signs of someone being there, but no one's been there. You're just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, just like Assassin's Creed, having some big treasure loot chest that's like anyone could have just walked in here and grabbed this. Like,
Yeah, no one walked in this cave.
Yeah.
It's just elements of video games to me.
Yeah.
My always fun one was Resident Evil 1. Just like, why can't these like badass trained soldier police officers kick down old wood ass doors? Like,
Yeah,
I gotta get
special forces
I gotta go
in
get
it
a dumb key. I got like a fucking shotgun. Bam.
Hey, sometimes wooden doors are like steel plated, you know, or whatever. Spencer
Well,
Mansion.
there are some doors, but like when you open it, it's like wood, like creaky wooden door. It's just
You're right,
missing
you're
the
right.
knob
Yeah.
right now. I'm like, motherfucker, bam! Kick that door open.
Shotgun to the hinges.
Yeah.
That's funny, dude. That is a funny one. Yeah, can you imagine you just shoot the door down in those games?
Well, I mean, in later ones you can. They finally did. Like, I mean, like in Resident Evil 4, you shoot open wood doors if you want. I mean, they're not locked, but it's like, you know, there has to be like a metal
step.
lock, or they started to realize like maybe we should do something about this.
Also, writing safe combinations on a note that's right next to the safe
Yeah, that's funny.
Well,
bugs me.
I'm sorry. How
Or the room over.
stupidity of people has been proven to be very high. I don't find that so unbelievable anymore. True. I don't think that's very unbelievable.
True.
And the final question from Samwise Game Geek. What game would the panel like to see get the HBO treatment?
What? Oh.
Nier Automata, Final Fantasy 15, Metal Gear Solid, or Fatal Frame? Love and respect, Samwise Game Geek. I assume I don't know if you're asking us to pick from this list or us just to give you game ideas. Nier Automata and Final Fantasy 15 already have animes. Metal Gear Solid does not.
MGS live action. We need it. We want it. We need it.
That was like, yeah, we've always heard about that rumor.
We want it. We need it. We deserve it. Straight up.
Yeah.
And if that series is like dead in the ground, you know, obviously with Konami and Kojima and that whole
Yeah.
thing that you could like teach an entire course on, there's so much just going on
Yeah.
there. Yeah, like that'd be at least a somewhat comforting way for Metal Gear to
Live on.
currently live on and exist, would be a live action show with obviously the quality of you know, Last of Us.
Yeah, from that list, I think Metal Gear, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that's not on this list, do you think?
Well, it just makes me think, like, just fucking make the Spencer Mansion movie.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah, we've been saying that forever.
Everyone has for
Yeah.
so long, and it's like,
They just won't listen, man. They try to pack too much in.
God,
Try to do 2 games at once.
good
And throw in Code
grief.
Veronica stuff in there.
Yeah.
What existing horror film or series do you think they could like maybe like model it after potentially to
Resident Evil?
like the Spencer's Mansion, like making it like, would you make it like go with trap heavy like Saw, like where each room's like, you know, more like death
Somewhat.
room or
There's
something?
traps
Yeah.
in the Spencer Mansion.
Traps. Dude, the pacing is everything.
Yeah.
That's why that movie would be short. You have the build up in the beginning. Like the first 30, 40 minutes is like set up, you know, and then by the time you get there, man, it's just like a little mini version of Die Hard or The Raid where you're trying to get out of this mansion.
Because I see it's done with like this concept's been done with mixed, quality
Yeah,
before. Like,
of
was
course.
is that House on Haunted Hill? What's the one where
Yeah, with
the
Liam
Femke-
Neeson and shit.
Yeah, Femke
Yeah, yeah.
Janssen, like that one.
The Haunting.
The Haunting. Sorry,
Yeah.
The Haunting. And then 13 Ghosts.
13
was another
Ghosts,
one where like,
yep.
they're trapped in there and they're like trying to get out.
Yeah. But then something slow like Haunting of Hill House or Bly Manor is like not really Resident Evil
Yeah,
style.
that's why I would say those are not. Yeah.
So.
But like the Haunting, sorry, I've got the name wrong. But yeah, the Haunting was like, oh, they're trying to get out of this like haunted house. Like,
Yeah.
That's Resident Evil.
Any other movies or shows from a game?
That you want from a game?
What do you want, Brad? Would you want Kingdom Hearts anything?
If it's animated, maybe.
Animated Kingdom
Yeah,
Hearts?
live action would be insane.
Dude, Kingdom Hearts freaking like 2D anime,
Well,
like old style
leaks,
Disney.
There was leaks of that game, an animated show from like way back in the day. Didn't look very great.
Got it. I mean, looking like the old, like
sure.
like, looks like Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. Like I'm
yeah,
talking like the Disney
Disney
classic.
animation?
Yes, with Kingdom Hearts.
okay.
How sick would that be?
Yeah, I think if every world had the animation style. Of
Oh
that
my god,
property-
it's like Into the Spider-Verse, but like they go into a Pixar thing. All of a sudden, it's a Pixar. Oh
yeah,
my
exactly. That's
god.
what it should be like. Like they could be CG, like whatever, but when they go into
Gotta
the
have
world,
one live action world then. Who's you get
a live action world, yeah, you could do that.
How weird would that be though?
It
You
would
get a
be
Haley
weird.
Joel Osment to be Sora IRL, or what's going on
You just
there?
get someone to look like Sora.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that'd be
Or
tricky.
it could be like realistic looking CG. I don't know.
yeah.
Something like that.
Hell yeah, I like that. Dude, they did a show. Every episode could be its own world.
All right, that's it. That's gonna do it for Frame Trap. We are done. Thank you everybody for watching once again. We will see you guys soon. So take care. Be safe out there. And we'll see you later.